All right, Jet fans, we're live from Pittsburgh. We're running on maybe 2.5 hours of sleep. My voice is somewhere inside there. Hopefully, we'll find it soon. We're reacting to day one, previewing day two. It's Boy Green, it's Johnny Boy. We got another special guest. We'll be right back after this.
Oh my gosh, it's morphin' time! To me, talking New York Jets is my superpower. Boy Green Daily starts now. Wow! Boy Green, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily.
It's nothing but football, man.
Boy Green, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Offense, defense, special teamwork, Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, Jets. Let's go!
What's going on, everybody? I'm Boy Green. That's Johnny Boy. We are live in Pittsburgh. And like I said, my voice is destroyed. So hopefully it comes back in the middle of the show. There was a lot of Jet chants, a lot of screaming, electric atmosphere in Pittsburgh. I saw a lot of pictures and videos of people telling us we were on the boob tube, which is phenomenal. And I'll have to sort through a lot of that probably when I get back home because I'm going to be here through Sunday morning. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. This is Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. We're going to go through every pick. We're going to talk about all of it. Me and Johnny Boy are going to share some stories. And I see we have a lot of memberships being gifted and super chats. We'll get to all that in just a second. But first, let's bring in the third part of our conversation. It is your mama's favorite author. I should have brought the book and just put it above the bedside. That would have been a nice touch. But nonetheless, it's a thought that counts. Let's bring him in. Bob Lederer, the author of Beyond Broadway Joe, the Super Bowl team that changed football. Here he is.
Morning, guys.
Morning, Bob.
I'm not going to ask you how you are. I can hear how you are.
Bob, I think we ended up going to sleep at like 2 something in the morning. It was, but we're still trying to come off of that being so up here with everything that happened. It was amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
since you were in the mob there, what was in your gut, what was your first reaction when they took Bailey?
I won't lie. There was a level of disappointment. I was like, wow. I thought everything was tracking to Arvell Reese. So if a camera was on me, you may have seen, because, for people who don't know, and I wouldn't have known until yesterday since I've never been to a draft, there's all these subsections of fans. There's 32 fan bases in front of the stage, and the cameras get ready when they know it's the Jets pick, and they're holding it on you. Sometimes have you're doing Jet chants or whatever you want before the pick is made, and then, Goodell walks up to the podium, makes the pick, and then looks over to you. And when he said it, my eyes just dart to like the right, like, damn. But I'm like, you know what? And then all in the moment of like, he's our guy. He led college football in sacks last year. We were 31st in sacks last year. How can I be mad that they picked this guy? So I wanted Arvell Reese candidly, but to answer your question, there was a slight level of disappointment because I wanted somebody else. But then we got to meet David Bailey, this incredible photo. I'm above him there. Lou B is immediately to his left. That's probably why David Bailey's holding up the L, because Lou B is to his left, or else I'm not sure how else to explain that, but I am going to get this framed and put it in my house. He came over to us for a few minutes after he got picked. He just sort of posed with us, hung out for a little bit, and then he went on his merry way. So David Bailey, yes.
I heard that Lou B said to him, "Don't disappoint us."
He did. And that's a good message because, I'm sure that's not what the kid wanted to hear minutes after being drafted by the Jets and the fans telling him, "Hey, buddy, you better not blow it," for sure. But he did say that to him. And to me, the thing that I know there are probably a lot of Jet fans that are upset about this. I hope there's not too many upset, because David Bailey is about to work with arguably the best defensive line coach in football in Carl Dunbar. if he led college football in sacks last year and now he's getting Carl Dunbar as a coach, I think Jet fans are in for a very exciting start to his journey. The thing that people said about David Bailey is he is plug and play right away, giving you some action. And I feel like that should be super exciting for Jet fans. Real quick, before we keep going here, also we'll get Johnny Boy in here. 5 memberships were gifted out in the audience. Number 1 Austrian Jets fan, baby. Let's go. I heard that a bunch last night. Can confirm. Yes, I can.
Who wanna fly with
That's the spirit. All right, Johnny Boy, read these 5 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club.
The 5 members are Jason Lang, Brooklyn-born Len, Hunter Real 1, Frank P59, and David D. Holmes 9687. You are a member of the Boy Green Daily memberships.
Yeah, there you go. Boy Green Coffee Club. That's the spirit. Let's get a $20 super chat in from Chef Kevin Gilbert. There's only one word to describe this sort of donation.
Wow.
$20 super chat. Thank you to our boy Chef Kevin Gilbert here to start us off. BG and Luby were on my TV all night long. My guy Johnny Boy made it to the pit, and it was lit, fellas. Let's go Jets. So I am so happy that my guy Johnny Boy here, who I'm spending the night with the hotel last night, tonight, before I drop him off at the airport tomorrow, was able to get in the pit, be there for the Omar Cooper Jr., get on the television. We'll talk about him later, but Johnny Boy, the pit was pretty cool. Give us a little taste.
Yeah, the pit was amazing. There's so much that is going on that you do not know unless you're there. In the very beginning, there's the pit section, then there's another section where it's like all the family members are there. We were right next to Ruben Bain's family. And I'm there hoping, I'm like, I hope we get Ruben Bain. I hope we get Ruben at some point, right later on down in the draft. So that was really neat. And then we get into the pit. Lou B calls myself and Boba Jet and is like, the Jets traded up. You need to get yourself into the pit now. They're letting us in. And when we tell you, we were probably running over nothing but Bills and Dolphin and Patriot fans. We were knocking them over, right? And everybody else, we were like, some Steelers too there. But we're running, and you see Boba Jet with his helmet just clearing the path for myself and for him to get to the pit. We get there. There's nothing like it. It is the Jets community together, and we're just going out without cursing. We're just going crazy. All right. It was amazing.
Johnny, let me ask you a question. I'm going to help save Paul's voice. Tell me about the mechanics of getting into the pit in the beginning, because they said there were 300,000 people there last night. So how do you make that maneuver? How do you get, your group of Jet fans in there? Is there someone from the NFL that's looking for a congregation of Jet fans and Bills fans and Dolphins fans and such? What goes on?
All right. So it is, first off, major shout out to Luby. Luby was relentless in getting me into the pit. So I appreciate you, Luby, a lot, man. Like, being honest with you guys, if it wasn't for Luby, a lot of this does not happen. All right. But there's only like 11 to 13 seats that are there. And then the representatives that are there that are taking care of the Jets fans, they get 2 out of the 13 chairs. So it ends up being just the 11.
Yeah, just to explain that real quick. So in each of these subsections, 13 people are selected. Now, technically, it's 11. 2 of the people work for the team. So in every hole, 2 Patriot employees, 2 Jets employees. So it's only 11 seats. It's not random. So to your point, Bob, they don't go, let's find some charismatic Jet fans out there. You have to know the right people. Some people are season ticket holders. Some people have very good relationships with the Jets. Some people, they do have a lottery style system. A lot of teams have this where you can bid your fan points that you've been developing or earning all year long and get into a raffle, and they pick one or two random people, and those people are gifted an opportunity. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff. So, but it is, again, 11 people, 11 Jet fans. So there's millions of Jet fans out there. The fact that 11 were in this group, and then some of the people that got in at each pick, because it looks like, I'm sure, like the David Bailey photo I just posted, it looks like there's a lot more than 11 people.
Yeah, it does.
Some other people were able to rush over they have like an on-site experience, which is where you're sitting in a recliner chair as the draft is going on in a different section. Some of those Jet fans, they let over for the pictures, videos, things of that nature. So incredible. Absolutely.
So that's a security guy on the right who's
yes. Oh yeah. That guy was a real jerk, to be honest with you. Yes. That individual, I wish he was more on camera so I could yell at him louder, but
and there's another guy in the back on the right in a suit who doesn't.
Oh yes.
Who doesn't look like a Jets fan, and he's probably involved in who gets in and who doesn't too.
There is, yeah. We've got a lot of that sort of action happening here on the channel. So yeah, there were a lot there's a lot of rules. Like, thankfully, this photo was able to happen and you could see me, because normally I am 5'3", so you wouldn't have seen me. But I jumped.
Somebody was holding you up, or you were on a chair.
Yeah, I was on a chair. I jumped on my chair that I was sitting in to get involved in the picture. Thank God I did, because, like I said, I would have been lost in the sauce. No one would have saw me. When I tried to get on the chair later in the draft, a security person immediately came over and said, "Get down." And I was like, "Oh, yes, sir. No problem. My apologies." And so, yeah, I didn't want to cause any other further issues.
The guy on the right looks like the son of Beningo.
He could be. I never noticed that till you just said that right now. But actually, as a matter of fact, I think you're right. I think he is the son of Beningo. And we're going to have to get a DNA paternity check on that one in just a little bit. But that was awesome. And look, EZ taking some credit. Good. EZ deserves to take some credit.
Wow.
I told you to hold the contest last week to make the first two picks. Looks like EZ won the contest.
He did. He won it. EZ called it. David Bailey and Kenyon Sadiq. We've had that's your raffle ticket totals, EZ, as well as Austrian and Chef.
Okay, so let's go to pick 16.
Sure.
Again, immediate reaction, because there were those two wide receivers, Cooper and the kid from USC, were still available, and they took Sadiq.
Yeah,
Johnny Boy?
Yeah, Johnny Boy.
All right, so everybody knows that I've been team offense since the very beginning, and he was one of the players that I wanted from the get-go of all of this. I just thought of, Alfredo Roberts coming over. I kept thinking of, could you imagine if this ends up being Vernon Davis and Delaney Walker and what they had in San Francisco? Think about Frank and how he's used, tight ends. Geno Smith loves to throw to his tight ends as well.
Does he?
This pick happens, and I have a video, and I am going bananas at this pick because I couldn't believe that they actually did that. And hearing Aaron Glenn and Muji talk last night about Sadiq and how he was really high on their board, and I'm pretty sure BG heard me from the back. That's how loud I was. And it was, it's a weapon, and I think the tight end needs to be taken off of that and put on as he's a weapon. And this guy had, what was his, I think he was the fastest.
Oh yeah, he was
40.
He
was under 4.4.
Yeah, he had a 4.38. He's either the fastest 40-yard dasher for tight end of all time, or he tied Vernon Davis. There's some questions about a certain stopwatch in one situation or the other. So he either tied for the fastest or was the fastest. So that's pretty impressive.
And Muji made the point that said that people don't give enough credit for his blocking ability. They said he's a pretty good blocker.
which makes me feel very good again. And we were talking off air, Bob, that a thing that makes me feel very good is, you see Kenyon Sadiq, and he's this, we talk about all kinds of positions in football, an F tight end that's going to be essentially a flex out wide receiver, which again, Jet fans, which I'll get into my reaction and how that all sort of factors in a tight end versus a wide receiver, and they picking Sadiq over other wide receivers that are on the board tells you how they planned on using him. But I loved hearing from Muji and Glenn last night because, I'm glad he's not just a special set tight end that can't block, because that means every time he's on the field, you know what he's doing. So the fact that that's no longer the case, that hopefully this can unlock another level to Mason Taylor is super exciting as well. But I'll tell you this, we all even worked on a speech. So when the cameras are on us, the red light doesn't go on immediately. And we're working on what's a chant to do when we select Makai Lemon? Lemon, or Makai Lemon, clap, 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 clap. So we're working on all these speeches. And then he says, Kenyon Sadiq. And we're like, well, all that preparation was for nothing. So then we just start going, Sadiq, Sadiq. So we just sort of made it up on the fly. I was surprised. I thought it was going to be Makai Lemon, but I did I was relatively surprised. I mean, I told the group, hey guys, Sadiq or Lemon's the pick here. Let's get a weapon. And that's the word that Darren Muji used last night. It's exciting. And also, here's the other factor. If you're taking Sadiq, you need a creative offensive coordinator, or Mason Taylor's about to be cryogenically frozen. So you need an offensive coordinator that's going to have the chops to be able to use two tight ends. I think two tight ends, 12 personnel, can be very effective, but you need a coach who's willing to use it. The Jets have not been very successful, maximizing one tight end, let alone two. So that part's really exciting to me. This guy's
the interesting point about Sadiq that I heard this morning that sticks with me is that everybody talks about Travis Kelce and how effective a tight end he is, but he's basically a wide receiver. He's not that much of a blocker. They don't use him that much to block. They use him to get out into open spaces and make damage. And Sadiq can do that, plus because of his speed.
Yeah, I think my favorite part about this, and maybe this is getting too inside football, but I think the part that makes me very excited is if you put, so we're making up, Jets are on offense right now. They line up Kenyon Sadiq, and let's call him your big slot for a second. What does the defense do? And AG was sort of talking about this last night. If you just put a corner on him, and probably a nickel corner, because we're talking about a slot situation, Kenyon Sadiq has 40 pounds on whoever this slot nickel corner is.
He's got probably 4 or 5 inches too.
100%. So if I'm the offensive coordinator, I'm audibling to a run, and I have an advantage. Kenyon Sadiq is going to bully and shove that nickel corner in a locker. If they put a linebacker on Kenyon Sadiq, he's faster than the linebacker. If you put a boundary corner on Kenyon Sadiq, he's bigger. So I just feel like no matter what, he can present and be a mismatch nightmare. And to me, that's super exciting. So, man, I couldn't believe – I thought Sadiq would be an option if the receivers were all gone. And I went, do we take him? And would he even make it to 16? We've done a lot of mock scenarios where he is not on the board at 16. So, yeah, Kenyon Sadiq, that was certainly –
all right, so take us now towards the end of the first round while Bob Lederer is safe asleep. The Jets decide they're going to trade up. And yes, it was my son, the Colt fan, that called me and said, did you see what the Jets just did? And I said, what'd they do? And he hesitated. I said, did they get a wide receiver? He said, yeah. I said, which one did they get? And what I love about Cooper is that he has a catch radius, which is immeasurable. And if you put the ball within that radius, he's going to get the ball. He made so many catches, as Fernando would throw at him, and the other wide receiver in Indiana did the same thing, that if you got it, within the catch radius, they just went and got the ball. And Cooper, of course, made that amazing catch against Penn State, that won the game for Indiana. So he's a guy who can not only catch the ball short, but he can break tackles. He can get himself open, and he can also, he's not a speedster, but he can go long and make the long catch too. But were you guys shocked that they did something, or had you kind of resigned yourself?
So I'll tell you one part that's confusing for me. Again, I've never been at a draft before in my life. So a confusing thing that I think some people don't know is that, and I knew this in theory, but I've never been to a draft, is that you get behind very quickly in the draft. Like it says the Bills are on the clock, but really it's 3 or 4 picks down the line. They're moving faster behind the scenes.
Yeah, the 8-minute rule has really helped. It really kept the draft going last night.
I wish I looked at the time at the end of the draft because I was not cognizant of how late it normally is. It normally goes to midnight or 12:30, just the normal draft. You're going through the process. But on the big stage, on the left side of the screen, it says this team is on the clock, but it's not the team in the middle of the screen that's literally picking. That pick is submitted, all that jazz. So they fell behind. So anywho, me and Lou B both noticed at the same time, the Jets are on the clock. They don't have a first-round pick this late. They must have traded up. So we start going nuts. The cameras start rushing over like, oh, wow, they're moving up for something. We all think it's for wide receiver. We weren't sure if it was Omar Cooper or Denzel Boston. And they trade up for Omar Cooper Jr. And me and Johnny Boy were talking about this on the drive back to the hotel last night / 3 hours ago, is that, people mocked Omar Cooper Jr. to the Jets at 16. They got him at 30. I mean, the Jets did what we wanted. They gave us 2 pass catchers. Garrett Wilson must be the happiest guy in the world right now because he has Kenyon Sadiq. He's got Omar Cooper Jr., Breece Hall's on this team, Adonai Mitchell's on this team, Mason Taylor's on this team. And I think Geno is going to raise the floor of the Jets offense, which is super exciting to me. So, the Omar Cooper Jr. training back in, I like the aggressiveness. I would have preferred not to give up 33, but 33 in theory would have been Omar Cooper Jr. So pass the biscuits. And the only other pick they gave up was a compensatory 5th. So they got that.
You don't really find out who they gave up until after you get out of there, because they don't announce in the draft that the Jets acquired it in exchange.
No, and they used to do that in the draft. Like Roger Goodell would have 2 cards. He would come up and say the 30th overall pick has been traded from the San Francisco 49ers to the Jets. And they normally – Roger would never give out like, oh, it was for a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. He would never do that, but he would announce that part normally in drafts past. So I don't know when this stopped, but he just said, up, Jets are on the clock at 30. Here you go. So that must be a new wrinkle that I'm unaware of. And,
the other element about Bailey, to get back to him for a second, that I immediately thought of last night, just crediting myself, is there was reference made during one of the telecasts about the fact that he played at Stanford. And I immediately thought, well, Frank Reich and probably, I think there's some assistant coaches on the Jets now that were at Stanford who probably gave them a lot of important information about Bailey because he only played 1 year at Texas Tech.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. Maybe it was my short-term memory loss in the car, possible. Maybe I had given it thought, but I forgot about it. But when he mentioned the same thing you just said, the Stanford coaches, I went, holy crap, I would have never thought about that for David Bailey. Like we thought about that for other things on the current Stanford team. I don't want to speak for everyone, but for me, I totally forgot. Like I knew David Bailey was at Stanford before Texas Tech, but I forgot that our coaches on the staff could have told us things about David Bailey that we wouldn't have known. So I totally forgot that as a possibility, which is crazy. But hey, again, they had the first overall pick of all the non-quarterbacks. They had months to prepare for this. They picked David Bailey. And I want to highlight something. There's a bunch of super chats and memberships. I want to get to those, but I want to highlight what someone said here. Okay, here we go. From Matthias Simon, I want to throw this up. He says, none of you guys wanted him. Now all of a sudden he's good. Jets pants, which, by the way, they are Zubaz, and I'm still wearing those. Thank you. But I want to make sure that people, appropriately understand. I won't speak for Johnny Boy. He can speak for himself. But, I don't want this to seem like, oh, see, Paul immediately flipped the script. First off, what the hell else am I going to do? He's on the team. He's a Jet. What, am I going to hate him for his entire career? No. And I said this before the pick, so people check the tape, man. I said I wanted Arvell Reese, but if they chose David Bailey, it's hard to be mad. He led college football in sacks last year. We did not sack the quarterback very often. I'm going to trust, and not everyone will do this, and I understand that, but I'm giving the benefit of the doubt to the coaching staff. Carl Dunbar is one of the best defensive line coaches in football. He looked like he was getting pretty emotional on the call. It looks like he's very invested in this young man, as he should be. And if they pick him, I trust their judgment that they picked the right guy. I'm just some boob who does a random Jets podcast. I wanted insert players. They didn't do insert players. I'm not getting paid millions of dollars to make these decisions. So if they make a different decision, that's what it is. And all of a sudden flip that he's good. He was the number 2 overall pick. You're making it seem like that we overdrafted him and he should have been 50th. Everyone had David Bailey as this top 5, top 10 player in this class, and they took him there too. So I don't think I'm changing the script. I don't think I'm calling an audible at the line of scrimmage, faking stuff. I would tell you guys this, and you'll see it throughout the rest of the draft. If they draft someone I don't like, I will be very honest about it, and I will share my thoughts. I am still concerned about the run defense, but Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji think the scene, from what they said, it seems like it's a little overblown. The truth will be in the pudding. When we line up and he's getting dog walked on run plays, we could go back to the tape of the things we criticized him for. So I just wanted to make sure.
It's funny, for the months that we and all the other podcasters had spent doing mock drafts, how the professionals out there running these teams saw things not 180 degrees different, but different enough. I mean, who would have thought that Tennessee was going to take a wide receiver at number 4?
Oh,
everybody thought, huh?
Yeah, I was going to pull this comment up because you said it. There was a couple shocks in this draft. To me, I just spoke with it maybe a week ago, maybe less. It must have been this week, probably. All the days are blending together. I spoke with a Giants insider. His name's John Schmelk. He's worked for the team for 20 years. And we were openly talking about what I thought was going to happen in the top 10. And we were talking receiver because it seemed like the Giants were going to go receiver. Surprisingly, they didn't. And I said, here's how it sort of lays out. The earliest receiver could go as 4, but I don't buy it. It's solid. He's going to take a defensive guy. And then we walk through, it could happen 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all these different things. And that one, when they took – because I was – I guess manifesting in my head him saying Arvell Reese, Roger Goodell were 20 feet away from him because I assumed that's what they're going to do. And I'm just looking at him, and then I heard Tate as the last name, and I'm like, no way. And then on the screen, Cardinal Tate, Ohio State. I went, holy blank. So that caught me off guard. Obviously, Ty Simpson at 13 caught everyone off guard. Everyone's jaw was on the floor when that pick was made. So,
and they told Stafford before the draft they were going to take Simpson at 13.
Yeah, because to me, it's still, which I understand why Mel Kiper's currently destroying that pick, because they're a win-now team. They used the 13th overall pick on a thing. In theory, if everything works out, is not going to play this year. That seems like a hard thing to sort of wrap your brain around.
But they're loaded anyway. And
sure.
Yeah, I mean, their problem is not talent. Their problem is aging talent.
Sure.
So I think they can afford to take the swing that they took with him. And, hey, if he works out, that draft pick is a steal.
100%. I think Johnny Boy said this, or it was Lou B. We were coming back. The Rams don't plan on ever being this high again. And again, it wasn't their pick. They got it from the Falcons, so it's not like they were bad. So take advantage of the moment. If there's a quarterback you love, and obviously they do, make sure you go take it. Let's highlight a few super chats and memberships. Let's catch up on all that, and then we'll talk some more excellent Jets action happening here. Well, I'll get to this first. Craig Mechanic says, I seen BG, you got a pick. So let me show this on the screen. This is, again, a draft story that I was unaware was a thing. Okay, so Roger Goodell calls out David Bailey. So if you guys watch a draft, Goodell's holding a card, and the card says the Las Vegas Raiders.
The second pick in the 19th.
Exactly, right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's all written out. Las Vegas Raiders, number 1 pick. It's fill in the card. It's Fernando Mendoza. And he signs all of these cards. If the prospect is not there live at the draft, so Fernando was not there live at the draft, Roger Goodell will give the card away. You can just have it to anyone out there in the audience, basically. And so I said, well, I didn't notice that at first, but when we got to the David Bailey pick, he announces David Bailey pick, but David Bailey was there. So David Bailey gets a card. It's part of his treasure thing. Kenyon Sadiq happens, and Hulk Hands, who I met in the group, we'll talk about more about that maybe on a different episode. But, he gave it out. He made eye contact with someone in our Jets group and gave him the card, and now he has the card forever, which was awesome. I saw that and said, if the Jets trade back into the first round, I'm going to try to make eye contact with Roger Goodell and see if it happens. So, truth be told, they trade back up. I'm doing the crazy jet chant in front of the cameras, and I'm seeing Roger Goodell leave the podium, and he looks at our Jets group. Me and him make eye contact, and I point, huh? And he goes, yeah. And then I bolt to the draft stage, and apparently there's a few other Jets people around me that were also trying to chase, but I was able to box him out, and then the card was handed to me from Roger Goodell, and I do have it's buried in the bag, or I would bring it, so you'll have to take this picture for now, but I have the official Omar Cooper Jr. pick that Roger Goodell held and autographed, and he handed it to me, and I have it forever now. I will frame that with a lot of other cool stuff. So, yes, I did get it. I didn't know that was a thing. So the only reason I could get it is because Omar was not at the draft. So a cool memento forever.
With the Omar pick, how awesome was it that we were able to jump the Bills? Because the Bills were supposedly the team that wanted Omar. So we're there. This is all happening, and our phones are going off. And one of my good friends who's a Bills fan texts me, and he's like, dude, I just saw you on the NFL Network. The brown hat stands out. The poncho looks great. And he goes, and thanks, you just picked the player that the Bills were wanting to get. And it was amazing. And then I tell BG, I was like, BG, the team that we just hurt were the Bills. And he goes, because when you're there,
you lose track of that kind of
everything.
stuff.
Like you don't know what's going on. And
you lose track of it on TV too, because there's so much going on.
Yeah. So, man, that was
so let me understand this. The Bills were ready to make a deal with the Titans for the 31st pick.
So let me rephrase it this way. So the Bills were originally at 26. They traded back. Okay. And then they went to, I believe it was 31 is where they were originally at. Yeah. And then they, in their head, must have said, oh, man, Omar Cooper's going to fall right into our laps. This is great. Darren Muji says, not so fast. He trades in front of Buffalo, takes Omar Cooper Jr. Buffalo, from what people were telling me after, panicked and traded out of the first round because that's who they wanted. And they traded that pick to somebody else that may have been Tennessee. Like I said, I sort of lost track of some of it while we're there live. But, yes, that's what happened. So that's pretty cool. So screw Buffalo, and we got this cool thing for sure.
And BG, also, as we're coming back, and, again, we're not realizing this. We're just trying to come down from all of this just happening. We hear the Aaron Glenn. We hear the Muji press it together. And then they say, for the New York Jets to potentially have 6 first-round players within the next 2 years.
Like, think about that.
Which this year and next year, both of us looked at each other and we were like, holy crap.
That's great.
That's amazing. It's the truth. I didn't even think about that. So
it's an opportunity. Again,
the thing that struck me that's not really directly related to us, but it was in the draft last night.
Yeah.
That last year when the Browns traded the third pick in the first round to
second
Houston, and they ended up getting Houston's pick for this year. And instead of picking number 3, they picked number 24 in the first round.
Yeah, that was Jacksonville's pick. That was the Travis Hunter trade. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, they dropped 22 spots.
Yeah.
In making that trade. Now they got other draft picks in addition, but that's a huge drop.
No doubt.
There were stories on TV last night about Dallas trying to trade up and do this and do that, and ultimately, I think they made one deal with Miami, but you got to be careful about trading for the future pick. And the smart thing that Muji made is not only when he made the deal with Dallas is to get a pick next year, but to get the better of the 2 picks that Dallas has between their own and Green Bay's. Because hopefully something's going to go wrong with one of those teams next year, and the pick will be, dramatically higher than we may think, as we found out with Indianapolis this year.
Yeah, Bobby Jr. is really going to appreciate you doing a anti-Colt stance on a week-to-week basis, which I will also enjoy. I see we have a ton of super chats. I just want to thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
we have 400 people in the room, including over 200 on YouTube. So, guys, like the video. Any support financially or with likes and subscriptions helps this Jet show get in front of other Jet fans and help support this trip that we're doing here. I see NC Green jumping in. You guys are about to get a lot of wows.
Wow.
Way to represent, boys. Proud Jet fans. It was super cool. 100%. Thank you to Johnny Boy for the necklaces and the chains. That was a nice touch. I will be wearing a separate outfit today. I will be back in the pit, so that'll be cool. So thank you, NC Green, for that. It was an honor, and I said this on the show before. It was yesterday morning, I guess, before the draft, that I know I didn't realize there was only going to be 11 people, but whoever was there, I know there are millions of Jet fans around the world that are vicariously living through us and this experience. So hopefully you guys were able to sort of enjoy that while seeing us go crazy in all these moments. Hopefully that was for you guys too. So we were thinking about all you guys out there in the audience. Spin Max Dave with a $5 super chat. Let's go.
Wow.
After Spin Max Dave, thank you for the $5 super chat. After sleeping on it, I realized the whole of the Jets draft is better than the individual parts. Grade A for their round 1 final result. I think that's a good way to put it.
It is. Not everyone wanted David Bailey. Yep.
Yeah, not everyone wanted David Bailey, but we needed a pass rusher, and we got a pass rusher. So we can all debate on which one we preferred. But then they got 2 weapons. They double dipped. They invested in offense again, which is phenomenal if you're a Jets fan, because we have not scored enough points. So them realizing that, saying, yeah, let's give some help to Geno Smith. Let's give some help to Garrett Wilson and really invest in the offense. I don't know grades. I haven't looked through how everyone perceives what the Jets did. But to me, I think you got to love what they did. And now they have 1 pick today at 44th overall.
Yeah, I agree entirely with Spin that you have to look at the whole package, because that's really what finally got me. I slept very well after they traded for Cooper, even though I was falling asleep already, because I felt that really kind of capped what they had to do. And look, Muji didn't do anything for wide receivers in free agency. He did nothing, and so he knew that there was bounty to be captured in the draft. And it was a matter of him masterminding what he was going to do to make sure that he got the couple of pieces. Because we talked last week about whether the Jets would take 2 wide receivers early on. And ultimately, that's basically what they did because they need it. And I wouldn't be surprised if they take another one in one of the later rounds.
Yeah,
maybe there's somebody that can help.
Maybe that'll happen. I'll just say this. I like that they diversified the assets. I'd rather have a tight end and a wide receiver, if so, because I like Adonai Mitchell. I don't love Adonai Mitchell. So right now he's wide receiver 3. Cooper's clearly above him. Garrett Wilson will be above him. And then earn your spot, young man. So that part makes me feel very good. And here's another thing, right? Last year, defensive tackle position sucked for the Jets. We're all like, hey, Muji, you should probably take one. Maybe 2. He took none. And we're like, oh, boy. The way he was talking, wide receiver room's fine. I'm like, God, I hope he doesn't do that again. And clearly he did not. But go ahead, Johnny Boy, get in there.
Yeah, I think the Bailey conversation, at least for us, so I have a video of my initial reaction to it. I'm not going to front and I'm not going to lie that I was not disappointed because I wanted Reese. But just like myself and Bobo, we're like, he's a Jet now. And regardless, he's rocking that green and white that we're here rooting for, and we want the best. You said it. The kid is plug and play at that position. And if you have somebody in the coach of Dunbar that's going to be able to fully get the best out of this kid, and AG made sure to say, hey, Yes. Is there some things that he needs to work on? Yes. And we are going to work on that with him, just like any of the prospects that just became a New York Jet. And I was like, let's go. The whole Sadiq conversation, he goes, I cannot wait to play our defense against this offense and see the mismatch that Sadiq is going to have there. And how do we go from a base or do we go from this other type of scheme? You know, can you imagine the opposing team and what they have to think about now? You know, you just said it. Wide receivers are Garrett Wilson, Omar, A.D. Mitchell, because A.D. Mitchell was a question mark. Mason Taylor, Sadiq, you still got Brees. The dynamic of this team going into today, we're both excited about it. But at the end of the day, they have to make sure that they get it right. And you said it the best way in having an offensive coordinator that can be creative and have these packages that they're going to use for these types of players.
Let me get a quick shameless plug in here. I recorded this at 2 a.m, so hopefully it's somewhat halfway decent, which is basically what I try to do on Boy Green Daily and anything else. It's sort of the bar I've drawn in the sand. But at 2 a.m, I revealed the top 10 player, and I think there's more than 10 because I certainly lost count at 2 a.m, players that the Jets could target. Today on day 2, and we have more Super Chats to get to, but today on day 2, which is the second and third round, the Jets currently only have one pick. They traded 33 to move up for Amari Cooper Jr. They have 44, which I got from the Quinn Williams trade with the Dallas Cowboys, and they don't have a third-round pick because Hassan Reddick, you bastard. So we only have one pick at this current moment in time. We'll see if that changes. But there is a ton, and I found that out as I was doing that mini recorded 10 minutes or whatever earlier this morning about, hey, here are the best players that are available. Jermod McCoy is on the board at corner. He has medical problems. Colton Hood, the Tennessee corner, is available. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren at safety is available. Linebacker C.J. Allen is available. You have Jacob Rodriguez, who's available. You have Anthony Hill Jr. at linebacker, who's available. I like Zion Young, the pass rusher of Missouri. Would they double dip there? I'm not sure. Offensive lineman Chase Besantis and Emmanuel Pregnon are both on the board. So, I mean, if you're a Jets fan and you're looking at 44, you start doing the math, you're like, wow, we don't need to trade up. One of those cats is going to be there, which is exciting. Very fired up about that.
Yeah,
sure.
you know, best player available is what most teams will do, but the Jets need help at linebacker.
For sure. That's where my gut. If I had my druthers, I would want one of those top linebackers at 44.
They have to get probably more than one young linebacker.
Sure.
Yeah.
I want Rodriguez. Last night, even after that 2:00 video that he does, we're still talking about the prospects that are left over, and we're just like, can you imagine? And we were forgetting about the Texas linebacker,
Anthony Hill Jr.
You know, and I go, Texas linebacker. He goes, Anthony Hill. We figured it out.
I just needed the college. I just needed the college to remember who else was on the board. Because, again, some of that you lose in the moment of like, wait, who was drafted? Wait, what just happened? Huh? Who, what? There's a lot of activity that's going on out there. And I see Emmanuel Holcomb, another super chat coming in.
Wow.
So is it too early to talk about? Well, why don't you finish what you're doing here?
Yeah. We'll catch up on the super chats, and then we'll jump into whatever you guys want to do. I saw you BG twice on draft night. What a nice draft! Again, I don't think it's hit me. My phone is lit up with pictures and videos of us being on the TV and the crazy reactions and stuff like that. So I don't think it's hit me, Emmanuel. It does feel like a nice draft so far. And here's the thing. We still have the rest of the draft. We've only gone through the first round, for Pete's sake. So there's a lot more to unpack here, I'm sure, Emmanuel, for the New York Jets in this draft. All right, memberships being gifted. Jared B., our moderator here on the chat. Let's freaking go. Every time a membership is gifted, we hear this. An angel just got their wings. So I want you guys to know that. All right, Johnny Boy.
That went to one of our favorite in the chat, Shout out to Boss Girl. Boss Girl, you are a member of the Coffee Club.
There we go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you to our moderator for gifting to the audience. And, it's nice to get a gift. I like Christmas. There's a present under the tree, or perhaps, Hanukkah, if that's what you celebrate. But look at this. Spin Max Dave says, I don't want to be gifted nothing. I want to gift myself, which is the best gift you can give. I don't need you to read it because we know Spin Max Dave joined the Boy Green Coffee Club themselves. If you would like to join the Boy Green Coffee Club, hit that join button. It's very easy on YouTube, and you can join our beautiful New York Jets community, which is absolutely bubbling with 500 people in the room right now. So feel free to do that. If you're watching on YouTube, you can hit that money sign, super chat in your questions. If there's something Jets draft-wise we haven't gotten in yet, you want us to dive in on a prospect, perhaps that's still on the board, or share your draft grade, feel free to do that. So thank you, Spin Max Dave. And we have a couple of member shout outs, and then we'll be back, baby. We've got Luca, who is a member for 15 months. Absolutely cheers.
Wow.
It's great to see Luca, of course, at the tailgate this past year. So shout out to Luca. And then Devin Chafin jumped in. He's been a member for 10 months, but he's given us individual grades for each pick.
Wow.
Oof, tough crowd. A C for David Bailey, a B plus for Kenyon Sadiq, and an A minus for Omar Cooper Jr. Well, at least, got better as the draft went on. So hopefully some A pluses are coming up later, Johnny boy, in the draft. Yeah.
I tell you this, the amount of not liking the player Bailey is insane, because going into this draft, the whole conversation was constantly Bailey Reese. And every single time, if we get either or, it's a good thing to have. And I'm going to go right back to what you said earlier. Plug and play. Dunbar could get the best out of this guy. Who are some of the people that Dunbar has coached?
Oh, TJ Watt. We're talking about Cam Hayward. Again, he has just worked with a ton of talent before, which should make you feel good. But here's the thing that's going to shut everyone up, right? There's a few people that criticize it, and I don't mind people that criticize it. We're fans. If you hate it, hate it. I don't want you to fake love it if you don't love it. Tell me you hate it. Explain why you hate it. I'd love that even more. Give me your rationale for hating it. David Bailey, we play the Bills week 1, and he has 2 or 3 sacks. I'm like, I love it. I always loved it. I've never changed. I've always been a super fan. So, yes, sack the quarterback, David Bailey. And if you do that very quickly, fans are immediately going to jump on the bandwagon as they should. So, Devin, you have every right to grade it this way. Not everyone and not every pick has to be this A-plus situation. So appreciate it. And, yes,
I hear that Arvell Reese's coach came into the Jets group last night.
Yes.
The second pick.
Oh, my goodness.
Which, again, so something I don't know if they show on television all the time, but so they do all this hoopla. Goodell comes out. They boo him. They bring in Steelers legends, which in theory is supposed to curtail some of the booing, but it never does. And another thing they do is bring out all the prospects that are in the green room one by one.
Oh, do
they? Big voice guy, Oregon tight end, Kenyon Sadiq. He was not there, but whatever. And they announce them all out. And we are 15 feet from the draft stage, so I know the prospects can hear what we're saying. So they bring them out, and they oh, thank you. And then they're standing there by themselves, and Arvell Reese is right in front of us, and we're just yelling, Reese, Arvell Jets. And he made eye contact with a few of us and smiled and did that, where he's pounding his chest and doing this. And then his coach, who was wearing a Reese jersey, was taking a few photos with us. And we were like, we want Reese, tell him that. He's like, maybe I'll see you guys in a few minutes. And we were like, and then it wasn't. And we were like, So there was, like I said, a flash of disappointment. But his coach did come here. There's unbelievable access. All the players that get selected that were there in the green room, they passed us. So they were high-fiving us on the way over. Here's one story from draft night that I forgot, and I'm sure we have a bunch of them to tell. It says Dolphins select Caden Proctor, Alabama offensive lineman.
Did they get ripped? Oh, my God.
Yeah, that seemed a little early. But so they take him, and again, he has to pose with the jersey and do all this bull crap before he can move on. And so he moves on, and every prospect that went to the green room passed in front of us. We were the front draft stage. So Caden Proctor's walking through, and a bunch of Jet fans that were in the front row of our section, our international fan of the year this past year, Hulk hands, they were trying to high five the prospects. Oh, Makai Lemon, whoever you are. They went to try to high five Caden Proctor, the Dolphins offensive lineman, and he shook his head no, because he's a Dolphin now, I assume is why he didn't do it. And we're Jet fans, and we're now the rival. So that got me a good chuckle. So respect Caden Proctor.
Yeah, they said on TV that he is a massive underperformer.
Yeah, that's the thing that gets me, which makes it like if the Jets would have drafted him, I'd be very disappointed. I hate hearing stories, and I'm a big draft nut, and I'm listening to Mel Kiper and all those guys, and they say it looked like on one play he looks like Jonathan Ogden, and on play 2 he just doesn't care. Like there's a lack of effort, there's a lack of hustle, there's a lack of that, and I don't like betting on those kind of players. Yeah, maybe the right coach can get it out of you all the time, but if you're not motivated to get it out of yourself, that's not a player I want to get. So yeah, good luck, Miami. But
so it's an unfair question from me. But if all 3 of our first round picks work out, as we hope they will, what kind of impact do you think it has on the Jets' win total next year?
Oh my God!
With a base going in, I think the 5 is what Vegas is saying.
5.5, I believe. Yeah. At this point.
So where do you think these guys can take us to?
Yeah, let's go round robin on each of the prospects. We'll start off with David Bailey. If he's as good, and you said a hit, if he's as good as a hit, a pass rusher is a dynamic mover, because I would assume no one's going to give David Bailey respect week 1. Like, he's a rookie. I don't care who this guy is. Then he starts beating you. You're like, ooh, we need to adjust. That opens the door for Will McDonald. That opens the door for the exotic blitz schemes that perhaps AG is going to be calling. So a dynamic pass rusher to me has a seismic effect on wins and losses. Johnny, what do you think about David Bailey?
And I'm in agreement with it too. We were talking in the car, and again, when we're there, you're not thinking of everything that's going on, right? Because you're just there. The drama of the actual draft itself. You're trying to comprehend that Bailey is a New York Jet. So you forget about the players that are there. We're talking, and we're like, you know what? Having Sweat in that middle where they're not going to be able to essentially, right, run up the middle on us where we've had the problem. And the hope is they're coming to the outside, and you could get your guy Bailey to potentially, boom, grab it, or the quarterback is trying, and we get sacks and sacks and sacks. Shout out to Florida Phil, but one of the things that we want that offense to feel the constant pressure from the New York Jets. We don't want them to be back there just waiting. And yeah, it'll change the game a lot for us. And the hope is that from day one, he has to be impactful. I'm sorry, but he has. There's a lot. I think we said it last night, if I'm not mistaken, that this is the highest.
Oh, yes. Here's something, Bob. You're a historian. That's how I first referenced you when you joined this show way back when. A historian. And this surprises me, but it is factual. David Bailey is now the highest drafted defensive player in the history of the New York Jets. That's nuts. I would have thought that someone would have had to have been higher, but Quinnen Williams is the previous highest drafted player of all time, and that was third by the Jets. That's third. So David Bailey obviously has massive expectations, but to set up the Bob question again, if these guys are a hit, what's the impact on wins and losses? Again, we'll go piece by piece. David Bailey. So you believe that it would have a huge impact?
Huge impact.
Okay. What about you, Bob, on David Bailey?
Well, I think the interesting thing to watch in training camp is how they put this defensive puzzle together, because there are so many new faces there that, boy, that defensive coordinator they hired, the young guy, and AG and Dunbar are going to have their hands full. Although I think they're already scheming, probably even today in the back room, about how these pieces all fit together. Because look, they signed 2 edge guys. They traded for a defensive tackle. They signed the guy from New Orleans who's a defensive tackle, but is going to play kind of an end in a 3-4. So there's a lot of different pieces there, along now with Bailey, and the holdovers from last year, which won't be too many. But they have Harrison still in the middle. So there's a lot of guys. They have a lot of depth. It seems to me, just looking at it, peripherally, and how are these all going to fit together, and who are they going to put together on the field at the same time? Bailey's probably going to get some extra protection, certainly in the beginning, and that's why I think getting a linebacker who can play behind him and stop the run is going to be critical. Now, whether there's a kid out there that you can put in there and trust to be able to take on that responsibility, to me is a big ask. But
by the way, let's welcome him in. Luby has just woken up we dropped him off at his hotel room, and he looked like he was about to die. So I'm glad that he is awake, or the person that is currently robbing his room has taken his phone and told everyone that he's awake. Either way, whichever the case. So shout out to Luby for obviously.
I want to know what Luby actually thinks now when he saw where Jeremiah Love went to Arizona.
Oh, he was. I can tell you, sitting right next to him. So I'll speak for Luby here. We'll open up the phone lines a little bit. He could speak for himself, but me and him both wanted Arvell Reese. Obviously, he wanted Jeremiah Love, but if we weren't going to go Arvell Reese and the other door was David Bailey, he would have preferred screw David Bailey, get Jeremiah Love in that case. He understood if the Jets went Arvell Reese. They did not. They went David Bailey. So he was really bummed out. And then Jeremiah Love goes 3 to Arizona, and he immediately turns to me and says, and he asked other experts this on our show, so why is it cool for Arizona, this dumpster fire team, their roster sucks, they can take Jeremiah Love and get praised, like, oh, Jeremiah Love is awesome. But the Jets, oh, no, you guys can't take him. He's this. And I get the Breece Hall element, but besides that, and so unfortunately for Luby, it's sort of like post-traumatic stress disorder. So he was initially very distraught that Jeremiah Love went to Arizona. As we're leaving the draft set, they're like, let's recap the best picks of the night, Jeremiah Love. And he's like, ah. So that was
I immediately felt sorry for Mendoza and for Jeremiah Love.
Yeah,
for the offensive lines they're going to have to play behind this coming year.
Oh yeah,
and even with that, also with so he gets picked with Arizona. So the guy, that's the other thing. The prospects, they get to pick the song.
Oh yes, that they walk out to. Yeah.
So they start playing this one song. It's called "Love Me, Love Me," and I am just like, Luby is swinging at the air right now. Like, and he said it. So Arizona could pick Jeremiah Love at 3, but the Jets are too good to get him at 2.
Luby's soul left his body.
Literally.
His body was still with us next to me, but I saw the soul in his eyes leave his body at that moment because, and also here's I'm sure this is lovely. You guys love hearing urinal bathroom stories, but as me and Luby are draining the main vein, a Bills fan goes in between us in the very limited trailer bathroom that we had, and Luby is muttering to himself, and the Bills fan goes, "Yeah, what do you think of your draft?" And Luby goes, we took David Bailey instead of Jeremiah Love. What a fucking mistake. The Bills guy was just laughing at the urinal. And then Luby goes, he's the best player in the draft. Jeremiah Love is. He's the best player in the draft. And then the Bills guy went, yeah, I agree. So there's your urinal story.
Yeah, but he's not going to be quite as effective behind a bad offensive line.
For sure.
There's only so many tackles you can break before you can get, past the line of scrimmage.
100%. Here,
and the same thing with Mendoza out in Las Vegas. I mean, oh my God, he is going to be bloodied, depending on how much he plays.
Yeah, if I'm him, I'm hoping Kirk Cousins beats me out in camp and then gets beat up during the season, so I don't. Let's keep the game going that you wanted to, Bob, talking about, the impact of these rookies if they're hits, and we'll go with a super chat here to NC Green.
Wow.
True story. Eric Ebron, if you guys remember that former first-round tight end, once had 13 touchdowns in a season under Frank Reich. Sadiq. I think I want to go back to there was a Darren Muji pre-draft presser that was earlier this week. And one of the cool things he shared, people say, they don't say anything in the press conferences. And sometimes they don't. But the one thing he revealed about their process is the final leg of the race is it was AG and Darren Muji in a room, everyone else out, and then one by one, offensive coordinator come in here. Explain to me if we drafted the guys we want, which obviously would have included Sadiq, Omar Cooper. What's your role for them? What are expectations? Because if I'm a player and I come in and expectations are misaligned, your role for me is misaligned, I'm going to screw up, and you guys have screwed up in the process. We all need to be on the same page. Frank Reich, plan on using Kenyon Sadiq like this. And then when Kenyon Sadiq comes in, we're going to use you like this. We need you to learn the playbook so you can do these things. I love that. They did that for defense, David Bowie. So that means Brian Duker or AG to himself with a mirror. How are you going to use David Bailey? Oh, I'm going to use him like this. So maybe he had that conversation with himself. And then obviously Omar with Frank Reich. So to me, I'm very excited. Our tight ends have stunk forever. We haven't taken a first-round tight end since Dustin Keller. You can go to our history, Bob, of Mickey Schulers and go down the line of Johnny Mitchell or whoever in your history books of tight ends. It's been a long time since we've had quality tight ends here. And now in theory, we have two.
And I'm going to push you guys again because we still haven't answered the question, which is of the three guys we drafted last night, if they all come through, what does that mean to us in the win column? So we kind of went through Sadiq. So now Omar Cooper Jr. And then let's kind of evaluate how many more wins above 5 could we expect to get if all these guys work out? And that's asking a lot, to be honest with you.
I'll probably call it, and again, this may be an over dramatization, but I'd say 3. I think David Bailey is going to have a tremendous impact because if he's good, that's good. But there's also a ripple effect when he's good to everyone else. Kenyon Sadiq and Omar Cooper, I'm going to sort of throw in the same bucket. We needed a Robin to Garrett Wilson's Batman.
Yeah.
We've developed sort of a Justice League of guys. Is it going to be Omar stepping up more? Is it going to be Kenyon Sadiq? I guess it's going to be on how Frank.
You need legitimate threats on the other side of the line,
Right. So really, they can morph themselves together to the same thing. If they draw any attention away from Garrett Wilson, the Jets worked. The plan worked. So the hit is them being competent. That's my line. I think that's also important. When we draft a guy, not everyone's going to be an all-pro. I hope they all are, but they're probably not going to be. Be competent opposite of Garrett, and a defense at the bare minimum has to respect that, and that obviously should open up some opportunities for Garrett. So I'd probably say
how many extra W's do you think?
I would probably go ahead and say I'm on the same boat. I'm going to go 4.
Ooh.
I think it could. I think the hope for me is that they have a winning season. So that's why I'm picking the 4, and it could go to having at least 9 wins this year. But the Sadiq, again, to kind of piggyback off what you guys were saying, how many Pro Bowlers of tight ends under Frank's offense have they had? He's had Gates, Ebron, Hurts, and Jack Doyle.
Okay.
And a lot of these guys were a lot of tandems on together as well. So that's why I kept saying that. And also the one part that we keep missing is Alfredo Roberts. When we picked Alfredo Roberts,
our tight ends coach,
I kept saying, I think we're going to go tight end. I think we're going to get a tight end. I think the tandem piece is going to happen here where it could be a whole San Francisco 49ers, Vernon Davis and Delaney Walker and what they have there. Potentially we could have a package and it looks something like an Hernandez and Gronkowski there. So again, I think that's going to help the offense. We've wanted offense for so long. We want to score points, and sometimes if your defense, let's just say, is not doing well, the hope is that your offense could get you over that hump. So I'm going to say 4 to answer that.
Okay. Let's and let's again, I sort of combine Omar Cooper and Kenyon Sadiq together for that conversation. I want to get one more super chat in here and a interesting tweet from Rich Samini that we're going to bring up in a second on a prospect that is on the Jets short list of players to watch that might create some opinions, including from Johnny Boy over here. But let's get a super chat.
Wow.
Hennessy Heisman with the $5 super chat. Thank you guys so much for the support. We have over 500 people in the room. I appreciate that. And over 250 on YouTube. That's incredible. That's great numbers here during the draft. Again, continue to show your support. Like the video. Hit subscribe. I saw we got a nice surge. We passed, to Bob's point. Let me get an updated number here to what Bob wanted here before we get to a certain point. But we are at, the last time I checked, 8,560 subscribers was the last time I checked. I will see if I can pull it up here to see if the number has grown at all. But please, folks, if you can, subscribe to the channel yourself and try to get this in front of other Jet fans out there in the audience. Yeah, we're 8 away from 8,570. Or in other words, as Bob would like to put it, we're 38 away from 8,600, which would be another cool way to do it.
Or bust.
So let's go, people. Make sure you do it. All right, let's answer this.
So what does Samini have to say?
Oh, yeah, we'll get Samini in a second. Let's get Hennessy Heisman here. After trading back into the first for Omar Cooper, the Sadiq pick at 16 makes so much more sense. Muji did a great job playing the board. Do we trade today? So a couple of interesting things here. That is true. Evaluating the whole picture. Wow, they took tight end instead of one of the receivers. Oh, wow, they liked a different receiver that they were going to be aggressive for if they got him. So 100% Hennessy makes a lot of sense when you see the full canvas. Again, this is the full canvas of round one. There's still more drafting to be had. Do we trade today? Interesting. I talked about this with Johnny on the drive back home or hotel a couple hours ago. They only have one pick tonight currently. It's 44. They don't have 33. They traded that. They don't have a third-round pick. Hassan Reddick, screw you. So you only have 44. I could totally see them trading back from 44 if the right offer's on the table. Hopefully stay in the second round, even if it's in like the 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
Pick up that 2 and pick up a third. Then Muji has 2 picks to play with. So I think that's totally on the table, especially when let's work in that Rich Samini tweet I just talked about, Bob. Oh, boy. So Rich, let me do some dramatic sounder to encapsulate it. So Rich Samini just tweeted this out minutes ago. The Jets have only one pick tonight, as we've all talked about. Here are the players to watch. So corners: Jamad McCoy, Colton Hood, Brandon Cisse, Avion Terrell, D'Angelo Bonds. I agree, by the way. I think one of those corners could totally be the pick at 44. Linebackers, Jacob Rodriguez or CJ Allen. That could be fun. Safeties, Traden Stukes or AJ Halsey, or perhaps quarterback, Carson Beck. Now, I wrote a piece about this yesterday because I can't remember who the person was. Oh, it was Matt Miller. So Matt Miller reached out to a Jets source and said, hey, would the Jets consider Ty Simpson at 16? Apparently moot point because he never made it to 16. But he said, would he? And the Jets source said, no. Very quickly responded to him. So that was no. But then there was a rumor that the Jets like Carson Beck. And they obviously did a lot of work on him. Private workout, pro day. They did the whole boot and caboodle. But it would be an overdraft. The consensus big board has Carson Beck at 100. The Jets are picking 44. Ty Simpson went early, so maybe another quarterback needy team like the Cardinals will get froggy and overdraft someone. If they trade back from 44 and do that, what I just said, trade to like the 62 or something, pick up a third, and then take Carson Beck at 62, at least you traded back and now you have a bonus pick to play with. If you love him, God bless America. If they just straight up took him at 44 and said, all right, kiddos, we'll see you in the 4th round, that'd give me a little heebie-jeebie. So let's go to you first, Bob. How would you feel if the Jets?
I would doubt that they would be putting Carson Beck on their board ahead again of linebackers, and I don't think they really need a lot of corner help. But if you get a quality guy that you just don't feel as a best player available, that's there, that you can afford to overlook him and not take him. I still think they don't take a quarterback till the 4th round.
which is where I would prefer, quite frankly. 103 or 140, we can have a
somebody
conversation.
yesterday also had them interested in Beck in the in the second round, in the end of the second round.
Right, which is
And-
where they sit. So
I mean, ridiculous.
yeah, I hope not.
Although there was a key point that AG made in the presser last night, and that is the 3 guys they drafted came from winning programs.
yes, maturity.
And that's a positive for these guys as far as I think their expectations, their willingness to do what it takes to win, because they've been in programs where that was the emphasis.
Mhm.
And I think because a number of the guys that the Jets signed who are used to being winners, okay, they want to be surrounded by young guys who are also winners and vice versa.
I want to ask this question out to the audience. I don't. Do you remember BMAC at all, Bob? Do you remember that caller or no?
No.
Okay, so it predated you. That's okay. So BMAC was this Packers fan that joined the show because Aaron Rodgers came on the board, and he was passionately, some people would say annoying, but whatever. He was with us. And as soon as Aaron Rodgers left, he disappeared.
Oh, okay.
I now highlight Tank for Ty on our screen.
Bye-bye.
He
Nice
says,
to
I'm
know
so
you.
disappointed we didn't get Ty. This is a actual, genuine, honest question. Tank for Ty, are you sticking around? Are you now joining the Rams? I don't really know your origin story. Who were you before Tank for Ty? Did you join us as Tank for Ty? I don't know. So does Tank for Ty, let's go around the room real quick. Does Tank for Ty stay with us? Or is Tank for Ty immediately jumping to like a Rams podcast?
Tank for Ty is a Jet fan. Tank for
Oh,
Ty
okay. I
was
didn't know
somebody before
Okay.
that switched his name to Tank for
Okay.
Ty.
So he's staying.
So I believe he's going to stay.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And, I hope so
Because
too.
it says,
What?
I am so disappointed we didn't get Ty. And let's be honest, BG.
Okay. All right.
All right. When the Rams picked Ty Simpson, all of us were like, that conversation does not even need to be made for us.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we all were like, look, not for nothing. And I said it before. Ty Simpson going to the Rams is probably the best place for him.
100%.
Stafford,
Yeah, I thought so too.
Sean
Yeah.
McVay to be able to fully develop, not have to worry about going in. You know, you get that 5th extra year. Again, the Rams, they could go later and get these weapons that if they want because of these aging that you were saying a little bit earlier, Bob. But I think Tank stays.
I didn't. So we'll get to Tank staying. Apparently, he's already made a statement on that. But I didn't have talking Tank for Ty off a ledge on my bingo card this morning. But I will say this: Tank for Ty. I know you wanted him on the Jets, and it's disappointing that he's not. But if he wasn't going to go to the Jets, and I was a Ty Simpson fan, and I now know people in Ty Simpson's camp, I'll reach out after. But you have to be elated. You're not going to be forced to start early, which I'm sure Ty himself would have loved to play immediately, but it's best for him not to. He's going to an offensive system that's great. Johnny Boy, you just highlighted it. Matthew Stafford, as long as he stays healthy, is going to be in front of you. You're going to learn from a pro. So Ty, I think, is in a phenomenal position. Again, I'm a little confused by their strategy because they seem to be this win-now team, and they did this. But, again, he's a quarterback. And if you think he can be a franchise quarterback, then you take him and you don't think twice. But, yes, Ty Simpson has chimed in and says, I will be here. I'm always a Jets fan. I will change my name back. My name before was Hire John Gruden.
I'd like to suggest to him that March for Arch is now available.
Yeah, I would probably, no offense, but
It's Jets, Jets. I love Fireman Ed too.
I mean, that's cool. But yeah, probably, move on to the next person, I would guess. So that could become your new bit. That may be another way potentially to pursue those waters, I suppose.
So, Johnny Boy, were you relieved when Ty came off the board?
So I like Ty Simpson. I actually, if you're gonna ask me, who did I think between? I didn't like a lot of the quarterbacks that were coming out. So, but I really loved what I saw from Ty Simpson with the Gruden video that he put out. The progression on this kid and the way he really is able to see the field and just get things thrown on him, and he just processes it so fast was amazing to me. So I was like, if he comes over here, I wasn't going to be mad at the pick. I know everybody was going to spaz out and flip out and be like, oh, here you go. Same old Jets doing something like this. That's why, to me, this draft so far has been so good because nobody really knew. Connor Rogers, and I shared this last night with you, started talking about, there has to be a giant leak inside the actual facility because the Bailey conversation. How are you going to have all of these, big time names that are coming out 14 days before the draft and saying Bailey and all this, and both of us look at each other. It's BS.
Yeah.
Nobody knew anything, but yeah, I'm happy now.
I'll answer your question, Bob. Yes, I'm relieved. Of course I'm relieved for multiple layers. The Jets didn't have that big red shiny button in the room they could have pressed. The Rams pressed it. So the Jets had no choice. They had no chance at him. They obviously were not going to take him at 2. So yes, I am absolutely relieved because this has a ripple effect. If they had taken Ty Simpson at 16, how does that not possibly affect your draft plans? Us as fans, we've had fans call in, Bob, to the show and said, screw it, take Ty at 16. If he sucks, just go get another one next year. That's a terrible allocation of resources. Yeah. Now you didn't take him at 16. Even if you took Carson Beck at 44, let's say that happens today. Who cares? It's a second-round pick. Christian Hackenberg was a second-round pick.
Well, but the problem is that we've wasted so many second-round picks that we're very laissez-faire about them, and we don't take them as seriously as we should. We should be demanding that we round picks, which we have a history of not doing. The thing I liked about Ty Simpson going at 13 is that it took up a spot in the draft that left other players still available.
Especially because the Rams and me and Lou B would huddle up on every person and start looking ahead going, wait, would they take this person? Would they take this person? What about this? And a worry point for me too, Lou, is I'm like, I've heard rumors about Kenyon Sadiq. I've heard rumors about Mekhi Lemon, and either one could be a Jets pick, so we don't want them to take that. So when they took Ty Simpson, we both said, great, because that means they didn't take one of the guys we wanted. And it not only did they not take one of the guys, it pushes a guy down because a lot of Jet fans, I would assume, did not want Ty Simpson.
Right.
And now
most people didn't expect Cooper. Most people didn't expect Cooper to be available at the end of the first round.
Definitely not. Definitely not. I do want to get to the super chat because I find it fascinating. Let's get to this from Ace of Spade. Let's throw this one in here.
Wow.
This has to be the fear. A $2 super chat coming in. Thank you, Ace of Spade. Will Kenyon Sadiq take away from Mason Taylor targets? If you have an offensive coordinator that's not very good, yes, Kenyon Sadiq will take away from Mason Taylor. One guy was the 16th overall pick. One guy was the 42nd overall pick. One guy's the new shiny toy. One guy is yesterday's news. However, a creative offensive coordinator will line up in 12 personnel, and those two will help each other. Defenses will have to make decisions. And I imagine they will lean towards Sadiq because Mason Taylor, with all due respect, had sort of a mediocre season last year. It's not his fault. It is what it is, statistically speaking. It was just a fine season. But with Sadiq, he should open things up for Mason. But most people only use one tight end. So as long as Frank Reich knows what the hell he's doing, and I hope he does, he's been around for a long time, this should not happen. But I imagine this has to be the fear for every Jet fan with Kenyon Sadiq being the pick.
Great quarterback play distributes the ball all over the field to everybody. And how often do you see at the end of a drive how impressive it was that he threw to 5 or 6 different receivers on the drive? Because AG made the point last night that with Sadiq and with Cooper, the offense can start to dictate to the defense what they need to be taken care of and what they need to be watching out for. And that's it. To be not predictable as to where the ball is going is critical. It's critical. And that's why even getting, Brees involved, in the offense from a receiving standpoint is very, very important. And having that extra tight end who can also block as well as catch the ball makes Brees's catching ability, which we haven't seen a lot of, but making that, even a more potent weapon.
We're going to go to the phone lines here shortly, but I do want to just highlight two more things. Again, it was cool for us. David Bailey was the only player we drafted that was there at the draft last night. He came over to us, and we have this picture that the Jets tweeted out, the official selfie that he got to take with the fans. And, man, it was awesome to meet the young man. He's a Jet. I will run through a brick wall for him. He is one of us now. And let's hope he is able.
What does he weigh? BG, what does he weigh?
I believe he is 6'4", 250 pounds.
Okay, he's gonna have to put on some weight.
Potentially. I want to make sure he doesn't lose the speed. So he ran a 4.5 flat at the 40 at the combine, which is phenomenal get off. So that is always the balance, whether it's tight end, pass rusher, insert your linebacker, insert your position where you can bulk up but not lose the special quality that makes you be able to do what you do. So shout out to David Bailey, and thank you for spending some immediate time with Jets Nation. That was amazing. And again, I have the Omar Cooper Jr. draft card that I'm going to hang up immediately. I'm going to get that David Bailey picture. I'm going to put that on my wall. Man, this trip has been absolutely spectacular. So, man,
and tonight's draft is what, 5 minutes between picks?
Wait, let me make sure I get it in my head. No, I believe there's 7 minutes, and then it's 5 on day 3, I believe.
Ooh.
Yes, and any comp pick. That's another twist I didn't know. Any comp pick is also 5 minutes. So if you had a comp pick in the 3rd round, it's only 5 minutes versus the 7 minutes you get. So I believe it is 8-7-5 for all your rounds.
Yeah, that's for the TV. They got to get off by 11 o'clock.
And can I say this about the Cooper pick one more time really quickly?
Okay, yeah.
We were talking about getting him at 16.
Mm-hmm.
We got him at what number?
30.
And we gave up only
a 5th round pick, which we got as a comp pick for free. Yeah, so
Muji, the way he worked that is a masterclass in itself. And the last thing I want to say on Ty Simpson, imagine if we did get him at 16.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can start hearing the noise, start Ty. We don't have to worry about any of that outside crazy noise anymore. Right now it's Gino's team.
Of course.
And he has a whole bunch of weapons. Frank, you need to get it right and do some really creative plays to be able to utilize both tight ends, use Cooper, use Mitchell. And Wilson is probably the happiest person. You know who's also probably happy?
Who's happy?
And we didn't talk about it? Is Brees.
Sure, Brees should be happy. Hopefully, well, this is not a today thing. This is not a tomorrow thing. The Jets said that they will, and especially now that Jeremiah Love was the red button in the room, that they could have done something crazy, and it looks like that's not going to happen. Jadarian Price, his teammate, goes to Seattle, which was highly prognosticated. So he ends up going at the end of the 1st round. But now the Jets, and maybe every Jet fan feels this way, you got to sign Brees long-term now. Let's go. The Jeremiah Love thing's off the table. He's gone. The milk is spilled. That's not going to happen. So that will happen post-draft, and they have till July 15th to work out a long-term deal as it pertains to all of that. People, make sure you guys like the video. That is a free way to contribute to the show. Help support myself and Johnny Boy, who's part of Jets Worldwide, all one word, Jets Worldwide. Make sure you guys subscribe there on YouTube, and that helps get this Jet show in front of other Jet fans in the audience. I want to get to 10,000 subscribers, but, you got to chip over to it. We're 38 away from 8,600. Help us get there. That would be absolutely incredible. All right, Bob, are you ready to go to the phone lines?
Let's go.
Okay, we'll play a quick hep timeout, and we'll be right back after this.
1, 2, 3.
Let's go, baby. I am a monkey operating a spotlight over here. So the call-in line was just now posted here. So feel free, everybody, to take full advantage of that on YouTube. That is a pinned comment on youtube.com/boygreen25. I see we just got a membership gifted. So let's go to it. Philly Noodles, Professor Philly Doodles, gifting a Boy Green Coffee Club membership out in the audience. Beautiful. Here's Johnny.
That went to Grinch Season. Is a new coffee.
Okay. Oh, terrific. All right. Well, welcome to the family, baby. I see our subscribers are picking up. We're now only 35 subscribers away from 8,600. Help us get there, baby. Keep piling on. Let's frickin' go.
I want to see him by next week.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Hell, I hope we could get it on the show today. That'd be sweet. If we could just get a push over the goal line here, we will see if that happens. But shout out to our buddy Philly Noodles. We have now added that to your raffle ticket total so far this month. So you are officially on the board for our contest. Appreciate it. The pinned comment on youtube.com is how to call in. I see we've already breaking the call-in lines as people are trying to get in, but we can't because we don't have enough space for all the callers. So I see we have a lot of people that want to get on the show. We'll try to get to everybody here on the program. All right, let's kick it off with who there, Bob?
Hep, are you hepped up?
I'm hepped up. Hey!
What's up, Hep?
It was good seeing you guys on the TV last night. I was really psyched about that. I'm going to be really quick because I know you got a lot of calls.
Sure.
Sadiq was the best player in the draft by far. Do you remember who was the guy on Denver? Davis? Was it Vernon Davis?
That was in San Francisco.
No. I'm talking about the guy from Denver, the tight end.
Shannon Sharp?
Shannon Sharp. Yeah. He's been compared to Shannon Sharp, this kid.
I love it.
I mean, also don't remember how to use them. Do you remember the New England Patriots with Hernandez and the other guy?
Yeah. Gronk. Yeah.
Gronk. Yeah. I mean, so it can be used. And the other thing is, Paul, you might, after the show, you might want to take a nap, you and Johnny, for an hour or so.
That'd be
and
nice.
The other thing is you could maybe trade that, that card you have with Cooper. When you go to the draft, when you go to the training camp this year, you could probably meet that guy. I wonder if you could trade that thing to him for maybe a jersey or something.
Yeah, it's so funny you said that, Hep. So I have this card, and it's amazing to have this card. It's one of one. There was only one card. And if Omar Cooper ever turns into anything, I think it's cool right now, no matter what. But if he ends up being a star player forever, that's something. And I thought in my head, because I tagged him and said, welcome to the team. Oh, it's so cool. I have this welcome to the team. And had he been there, he would have received it. So I thought in my head, is he going to reach out and say, hey, Paul, can I get the card? And then there's some sort of an exchange, an autographed jersey or something.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. I'm open to interpretation. If Omar Cooper's people want to reach out, I'm willing to negotiate. I'm willing to chat, season tickets for life, an autographed jersey, equity in the team. I'm willing to negotiate.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm off because I know there's other people. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Hep joining us here on the program. Again, guys, the pinned comment is youtube.com/boygreen25. We are breaking the StreamYard call-in limits, which is terrific. So we'll try to get through as many of you as possible and as efficiently as possible, but love it. But yes, I did consider that. So we'll see what happens there from that perspective. All right, let's go next. Kyle Clifton.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Hey, what's up? You seem pretty
really
bricked up.
interested in what you think last night.
Yeah, you seem pretty bricked up over there, Kyle.
I am bricked up. And, to me, it's an A, because if the two main goals were to improve the pass rush and improve the pass rushers, then mission accomplished and mission way accomplished, right?
100%.
So, even if you don't prefer Bailey, you knew he was an option, right?
Yeah, of course.
And, Sadiq, I had a feeling pretty early on it might go that way. And if you don't have a choice and you can't get out of the pick, then you just take the best pass catcher. And, I'm looking at the Beast this morning for the value, right?
Yep.
They had Bailey as their seventh best player, edge 2. But we knew he was going to be at the conversation at the top of the board, right?
Yeah.
They picked Sadiq right at the spot that the Beast had him, 16.
Yep.
Cooper was at 22. There is no business that Cooper had being there at 30. No
Definitely
business whatsoever.
No.
And especially with the competition for wide receivers among the league in this draft.
Which
So
speaks
now-
to the trade up, right? Because
Yeah.
like the Jets are like, oh my God, we're not going to F around and wait to see if he gets there. Let's be aggressive. And I respect that.
So to me, when you look at the board, right, and the Jets sitting at 44,
Yeah.
there's like McNeil Warren is a guy that I kind of like as
too.
kind of a bigger safety.
Yeah.
And I wonder how they have him rated because, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of these other, you know, analysts have him rated high in like first round grade.
Daniel
this draft.
Jeremiah has a top 15 grade on him.
Right. So is that a guy that's worth coming up for? I don't know. And what would it take?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'd say about that, because I don't think that there are too many players that are left that you would necessarily come up for. I think you'd probably stick and pick, but if the value is there, then at some point it becomes, you know, obligatory.
Yeah.
That was my quick thoughts on it, and I'll let you get to the other calls. I really appreciate the work you're doing out there, and I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves.
We really are. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's exciting. I heard Kyle, he called into the Jake Asman show as I was driving up from Pittsburgh, and he just said, you know, obviously I wish I could be with you guys, but I'm going to be there with you guys and living it through you guys. So shout out to Kyle Clifton. Appreciate the thoughts. Go ahead.
At 44, I mean, it's Jacob Rodriguez, right?
That's what I think. Again, if there was a gun to my head, there'd be two things I would want. I would want off-ball linebacker if the value meets. And my lean is Jacob Rodriguez, but if they picked Anthony Hill Jr., I would understand. And they picked C.J. Allen, totally would understand. I'm also with Kyle. I really like Emmanuel McNeil Warren. He's 6'4", and I think our safety group is fine, but and Emmanuel McNeil Warren could only make it better. So, yeah, I'm curious because, like, what we think are the best players, the Jets sometimes don't think are the best players. They have a completely different draft board we're unaware of. But as they're resetting the board today, I am curious if anyone sort of tickles their fancy. I don't love trading up because I love those fourth-round picks. I think 103 we could take a center. I think 140 we could take a quarterback. So, and I love the possibility of adding both and then just riding out 44 and maybe get a guard, Chase Basantis, Emmanuel Pregnon, maybe get the linebacker we're talking about, maybe get a safety corner. Rich to me highlighted like 20 corners they love. To me, I feel like I'm probably sticking and picking despite the temptation of moving up. That's probably what I would say there. Let's keep rolling on the phone lines here. Let's go. Up next, we've got Bill here on the show. Bill?
Hey, good morning. How's everyone doing?
Oh, my
What's up,
God.
Bill?
A little tired.
Bill, how are you doing after day one?
Good. The Cooper pick made the whole thing feel a lot better for me.
Fair enough.
On the one hand, I had a feeling that maybe they would pick Bailey over recent with the second pick. So I was already kind of resigned to it. So it wasn't a surprise. With the chance of getting Lemon at 16, but instead we took Sadiq, I was kind of surprised. But at the same time, I said to myself, well, having a solid tight end like that, you can't go wrong. But then, of course, we traded up and got Cooper, and I was like, all right, now it all makes sense to me. So I feel a whole lot better about it.
And I think that's the right way to feel, Bill, because, again, we talked about this a few times during the show today. It is a full canvas, right? Like, it's not just David Bailey in a vacuum. It's not just Kenyon Sadiq in a vacuum. It's not just Omar Cooper. It's a plan, which, again, sort of speaks to earlier about passing on Mekhi Lemon, which I was surprised by, candidly. I thought if one of the big three, which was Mekhi Lemon, Jordan Tyson, or Carnell Tate, obviously. And, you know, when Carnell Tate goes at 4, I just went, oh, fuck. Man, these receivers are going to start going very quickly, earlier than I thought. And then Tyson goes 8 to the Saints, and I'm like, oh, Jesus. Oh, boy. Here we go. And Mekhi was on the board for us. So that's, you know, they obviously had a plan, just to sort of to your point. They weren't just going to force a wide receiver. They thought Kenyon Sadiq was a better pass catcher. They got him. And then they said, you know what? We like Omar Cooper Jr. too. Let's move up for him. So, again, the offense, think about this offense for a second. You go to wide receiver. You have Garrett Wilson. You have Omar Cooper Jr. You have Adonai Mitchell. We all know the offensive line. Olu Muiwa. You have Dylan Parham. You've got Josh Myers. You got Joe Tippmann. You got Armand Membu. You got Mason Taylor. You got Kenyon Sadiq. You got Brees Hall. Braylon Allen hopefully comes back healthy. And again, Geno Smith raises the floor. I don't know if he's going to be in the MVP conversation. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure he's not. But if he raises the floor and he's a competent quarterback, which, by the way, he's been for most of the last 4 or 5 years, then there should be a lot of touchdowns and a lot of things that should excite a lot of Jet fans.
Yeah. With all the talent that's still available, I'm just wondering whether or not the Jets could actually afford to trade back a few slots and still get their guy.
I'd love that.
You know, that would be interesting because I'm surprised as to all the players that are still out there with them approaching 44.
I don't trade back just to trade back for shits and giggles and pick up a sixth. But if they can trade back for the right team that's aggressive and really wants one of these guys, and they'd give up a third, I would want to explore those waters. And now we're cooking. If not, I want to stick and pick.
Right. That's how I feel. If we can trade back and get that third round pick and still get our guys in those 2 slots, I think we'll be very, very happy out there.
Fingers crossed.
How about a update on Brody? How's he doing?
Yes. So again, Brody, my brother, for those who don't know, has been in ICU. He's now at a special sort of, I say rehab, but that's probably not the right word. He's at a special facility that's getting him extra care for his problem. The great news is that, you know, for the last week or something, he's been sedated. So unresponsive, whatever you want to, like, you know, he's knocked out. You can't talk to him. But my father just visited him, and because of things going in the right direction, he's not out of the woods yet, but with things going in the right direction, they could minimize some of the medicine that left him sedated. And from what I understand, I didn't get to talk to Brody myself, but he was like having draft conversations with my dad in some form or fashion. So that to me is a very encouraging sign. And hopefully I get to talk to him today. I believe my father's still down there for a couple of days. So hopefully we get to carve some time out to talk to Brody today.
Well, best wishes on a speedy recovery for him. I love my siblings to death, and I know the same is for you and your family. So wish you guys all the best with that. Everyone have a great weekend, and let's go Jets.
There he is, Bill. Love you, buddy. Thank you so much for chiming in here on the program. Thank you. We have a ton of callers. We're going to keep getting through everybody here. All right, who do we got next here? Oh, yes, we got to get this guy in. Lou B from his hotel room. He's alive.
Well, what a night. What a night. What a night. And Coffee Club, I hope you know we represented you as hard as we possibly could. It was just an out-of-body experience.
Yes.
And the craziest part about the draft for me was we would huddle up before each pick. Obviously, the trade-up was nuts. And we pretty much got almost every pick in the draft right except R3, which was pretty incredible. we were ready to cheer Makai Lemon.
Yeah.
So we had it all ready because, I mean, literally we had 15 cameras in front of us, and it wasn't Lemon. It wasn't Bailey. You know, we thought it was Denzel Boston, but I had such a great time with these guys. And Bob, I wish you were with us. Coffee Club, everyone, you're with us. It was just an experience that I can't explain.
Yeah.
So, Louie, what do you think about Love going to Arizona?
Well, Indy, I don't know 100 shirts because Indy said he was going in the second round. I said he almost won second pick, but I love you, Indy. It's everything that I said that it would be. He would go high. I was disappointed, but I did get a chance, and BG could tell you. I told Jeremiah Love, eye to eye, you're the best player in the draft. And he said, because, the players just walk by you. I mean, they're 2 feet from you. And I was disappointed, but I think one thing I said a few times last night, Arvell thought he was going to be a Jet. All the players were dead straight, and Hulk Hands got his attention and was like, "You would," and he's like, "That's right." And his coach literally came over to us right before. So when a pick happens, players, families move up, but he came to the right side, not the middle. The middle, I said, BG, just don't look to the left, because if you look to the left, you could ruin the pick.
Yeah.
When you see like that big Hawaii, what was the lineman that
Francis
had,
Mauigoa, he went to the Giants.
when you see all these jewels coming up the middle, you're like, okay, it's him. So his coach came to us, and he was ready for him to be a Jet. Arvell thought he was going to be a Jet, 100%. He was locked in with us. He was ready to get picked. When Bailey did come over, I told him probably 20 times, we're counting on you. We're counting on you. We're counting on you. I said, we're the best fans. And it was a real emotional night for us. And part of it was getting Johnny Boy in was the craziest part, because obviously there's literally 11 seats. We thought there was 25. And when we traded up, I looked at our rep and I said, please, you have to let me get Johnny Boy and Boba Jet. And she said, run. And I ran like hell.
Louie, can you tell us how that happened? Because we were kind of like, all of us, we were bummed out. Because we were saying it, dude, imagine us three and then the one player that is there, and we're all like, could experience this one moment together. Tell us, how did it happen? How did you, dude? You were blowing me and Boba Jet's phone, and we're like, get your ass over here. It was amazing.
So
yes,
BGO. So it's crazy because the seats, there's 2 reps for the Jets, and they actually have to sit in the seats. You cannot go in the aisle, or the security comes and attacks you, literally.
Yes. Unless you're on the Browns or Bills or one of those other teams.
Yeah, I mean, we were fighting with security all night, right? Because we wanted to huddle up. So BG will tell you, I asked her all day, hey, is there a seat open? Oh no, that's not. No, could I just get Johnny Boy? And I kept asking because I did not want to let Johnny Boy down.
But you manifested it, Luby. I want to jump in to say this because we talked about it. Obviously, we wanted Johnny Boy with us the entire time, but we said maybe, pick 16 dies off, right? That's the only pick scheduled.
Yeah.
Maybe that opens a door, and then the Jets trade back in, and we get to have a special moment. So thank you to the Jets for trading up. Thank you for Luby putting that in the universe. And thank you. And Johnny sent it to his family. You couldn't miss him with the straw hat right next to us. And
he was very unique.
The Jet chant before the Omar Cooper Jr. reaction. So, I think God, everyone believes in what they want to believe in, but I think the gods were looking down upon us to allow that moment to happen, which is something me and you, Luby, me, you, and Johnny Boy, and everyone's going to have forever.
Yeah. So she basically said, go get him. And when they trade up, I looked back at her and she goes, go get him. And I just took off and I'm running. And you have to understand the security there. It's like presidential level. I mean, they take it very serious.
So when you're running around,
5-10 feet, there's another guy with a suit and an earpiece. It's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah. It's very
So
intense.
I just took off and I was FaceTiming, and Johnny Boy didn't even answer my call. This guy sent me the voicemail. I was like, are you kidding me?
Well,
he didn't answer.
Answered. So I had talked. So my uncle had passed just recently, right?
Oh,
and prior to this coming here, when I'm packing, a photo comes up of him that I'm able to take out of my suitcase, and he's wearing a Kansas City Chiefs jersey, which was the pick right before us trading right back into it. And I told him, I said, dude, I think something's going to happen after the Kansas City Chiefs pick. And he's like, could you imagine? Right. So I'm on the phone with my cousin, who is my uncle's son. I'm showing him that Kansas City is picking Peter Woods. Then you call right? Because I was like, I didn't.
He
think
did.
nothing.
So he's admitting it, guys.
I didn't think at that moment. I didn't think that it was for you
shut
to
it
be like,
off.
we're gonna get in. But Boba, so you call Boba next, right?
Yeah.
Boba, me and him are together. Boba is like, we're in the pit. Get your shit and run.
He's a serious guy, Boba Jet.
Dude, and then I see Lil B just like getting us like this, coming down. The dude is shining with his fly ass suit, right? Boba puts on his helmet. I'm telling you, we're knocking over Bills, Dolphins, and Patriot fans.
Yeah.
We're knocking them over to get there. We get there. You start seeing Goodell come down. We're doing the chant. There is just so much going on at that one moment. There is like 15 cameras right there.
And we were so good. So they really knew that our chant just took over. I mean, I can't even explain it. Bob, it was really incredible.
Hey guys, what are they feeding those offensive linemen in Hawaii?
Good Lord. I don't know, but I wish I did. And I wish I had some of it, for God's sake. So I wouldn't have required a chair to get up so people could see me. But that was incredible.
And did you see, I don't know if you guys were there because they probably couldn't see it, but they showed a tape of Vega after his selection. And they showed him coming out of the Penn State locker room and jumping over the side.
Oh, and helping someone.
And brutally, along with another player, pushing this gigantically heavy cart onto the field. And I went, oh my God, Baltimore got themselves a bone crusher to play guard for them.
We knew that pick was coming. That was one of the easier ones. So every single pick, we would huddle up with these fans, and half of them we knew. Some of the guys I knew, Juicy Jet, Mikey Holkins was just incredible. He gave us all the tips, like where to move, where to sit, what to do, how to control it. I mean, totally, he was our coach. He was like, I'm going to get down. You're going to get, I mean, he was incredible because if you're not organized like that, the cameras don't pay attention to you. If you're a mess, so we needed to like huddle an organization. Keep in mind, we're fighting with the security to do that. Yeah. There was one guy who was just really harassing us.
Real jerk.
We would try to get ready for who the pick was going to be. So you guys know that I am also the draft guru. So I was looking at every possibility, narrowing it down. And in our mind, if 3 linemen went off the board, if Ty did go, that was going to leave us in a really good position. And what happened was crazy. You see families, but I saw a kid in the beginning of the day that looked just like Ty Simpson, a younger guy in a suit. He looked just like Ty Simpson. I'm like, wow, he's Ty's doppelganger. And to my left side, I see this kid, young kid walking up at pick 13. And I go, holy shit, it's Ty Simpson. And as I did want Ty, don't get me wrong, I would have liked to get him later on. But the way it worked out for us, we have 2 offensive weapons to have G5, AD, Cooper, Sadiq, Brees, Raylan, the offensive line, and I don't even know who I'm forgetting.
Hey, Lou, is there a quarterback that you'd like to see them take later?
Cole Payton. I love Cole Payton. I mean, that's my dark horse. I think the Jets like him too. They might take Joe Fangano because I know they spent a lot of time with him from Stanford.
Yeah, but, UConn actually. UConn, Joe Fangano.
Okay. Well, but because they were in Connecticut.
BG, yes.
You know, him being in over there.
The quarterback you're talking about, he's played at Division II, right?
Yeah, he was in the Senior Bowl. Cole, he looked really good. Yeah. But to me, he's like a like a Josh Allen type of.
We'll look for you tonight.
Yeah,
I will be there. I have a new suit for tonight. It's stunning again, but we'll be with these guys, and I just want everyone to know that it was the most incredible experience, and we literally were representing all Jet fans as best we could.
Yes,
we didn't let them like push us out of that corner.
Screw you,
to
security.
Just really get our chance.
So are you in that pen basically from the entire evening, or do they move you out of there when the Jets
Oh
are?
no,
You're there the whole time.
There's literally assigned seats. There are 13 seats, 2 for the reps, and 11 other seats.
And
We
you're in
have
a
family-
cubicle.
When you want to usher somebody in there, like you
Oh.
said, you were begging. Where how far removed is that person from the pen?
Oh, you
very,
were
very far.
Yeah, very far.
Very far. So I just took off and I was
You did.
running and there was like security like behind me because they thought like something happened. I'm like, I don't
Right.
care. They're not going to catch me. They're not ready for me right now. I was running. Now, the scariest part that everyone needs to know is Boba Jet was running too. Boba Jet is like a full-size lineman with a steel hat on. So picture this guy running towards me. I'm running towards him. And it was almost a very big accident.
Yes.
And
it was.
it was just great. And we did everything. And I let Bailey know we're counting on you. We're counting on you.
Did he
That's it.
react?
I will cheer for him. I will cheer for Brees if he doesn't get traded. I'm all Bailey now. That's
Let's
it.
go.
Who's ever with us is with us.
Did Bailey react, or did he just act like this is a crazy Jet fan? I'm just going to smile.
So I think he's. Go on.
Go ahead. No, Luby, you're the one who talked to him, so please.
I think that Arvell was a much more warmer guy that you could like hug him and he like if he would have came over, I think the reaction would have been like, "We love you," because he was so like he was standing right in front of us on the stage when they all come out, and he was like, he literally, I'm telling you, he thought he was going to be a Jet. His mind got cracked when it didn't.
Yeah.
But Bailey is, I think he's a little more antisocial. I don't think he's got that like, and we don't need him to do that. We need him to kill quarterbacks. So
yeah.
But I told him, and he got with us. He was a little more distant. I don't know if he was ready for it either. Nervous, obviously, an incredible moment.
It's a kind of environment that can be pretty intimidating, even if you're 6'5" and 250 pounds.
Yeah, for sure.
Without a doubt. You could tell the two big stars on the stage, and I'm not just saying this. Jeremiah Love was like a star on the stage.
Of course.
And Arvell Reese was a star. And Carnell Tate was another movie star on that stage. These guys are like movie stars. Yeah. When they came out, you were just like,
go get us some good players tonight.
I will.
Yes. So Lou B, get some rest, get ready. And it's a cool thing. I didn't know this was going to lead to this, but Craig Mechanic says, I'm definitely getting in on the tailgate tickets with you guys this year. This got us ready to see us all together. And we'll have more details on that because the NFL, there is no off season. We have the schedule release in 3 weeks. So
that's the best part of it, guys. That's the best. Being last night in that huddle with the other Jet fans, we didn't even know them. There was the International Fan of the Year there too. Yeah. And it was just, we were together and we were ready, getting ready for the pick. It was incredible. And that's it. You guys have a great day. I'll see you in a little while.
You too. Rest up.
Right before you get off, you said the words together, and you also know who was together, and they worked as a team yesterday, and you saw it, was Aaron Glenn and Muji, and what they've done with these picks. So for the whole conversation that they don't get along with each other, blah blah blah,
there's a mission.
And Frank Wright too was very involved. That's a deep pick.
You could tell.
That was a push. I saw a speech from him and whatever, guys. I love the coffee club. We'll be here today, and this is insane.
We can't wait to see you. Thanks, Lou B, joining us here on the program. We'll keep filing through all the callers. And yes, again, we won't have any significant update on the schedule situation until it comes out the middle of May. But if you guys are interested, again, my advice I've been giving for months is just have your shekels ready. Last year was $300 per person. That's game ticket, food package, and everything else. So just have your money ready because it's first come, first serve. So if you guys want to come party with us for a Jets game, that'll be the time to do so. So hopefully,
Woody needs the money, so be prepared.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they do require the money very soon after, which means I have to get the money from you guys very soon after, or else old boy Green's going to be on the street begging for change. All right, let's get some more callers in here. Up next is Ted, NY Jets FL.
Ted.
Good morning.
We can't hear you.
you walking in.
Ted,
Probably
there's
seeing
something
how
going on
well
with your
yours-
audio. We can't
Oh.
hear you.
Oh,
Oh, now we can. Okay, now whatever you
sorry,
did,
sorry.
maybe just closer.
yeah. Sorry about that.
Oh, there you
So,
go.
you walking into, I watched your YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
So you walking in to the stage and probably realizing just the gravity of how close you were,
Yeah.
and just the overwhelming experience to be there was made me like smile. You know, it was great.
Awesome.
Johnny, you were blessed after the medical mishap you went through. So on a personal level, I think that's tremendous that you were blessed to go to the stage and experience that kind of thing. On the Jets, I'll make it quick. I know you have a lot of calls and everyone's probably fatigued at this point. Gino, we may have the top 5 weapons in the NFL, and between the offensive line and all the weapons that we added. So I think Gino's going to go crazy. Aaron Rodgers is probably pissed today. Booger McFarland made a great point on some of the coverage, and I didn't listen to a lot of it because after a while it's just crazy. Yeah. He compared Bailey to Aiden Hutchinson, Trayvon Walker draft, and he basically flat out said, do you take the proven player over the player that perhaps has to learn, has a bit of a learning curve? Mm-hmm. So he basically said, take Bailey. He was confident the Jets would take Bailey. My final point is Muji. I think you got your long-term GM no matter what happens. I mean, hopefully it's with Glenn, but I think Muji's the guy. So anyway, have a great second day at the draft, and I appreciate all your coverage. And the draft was tremendous. We have nothing but positivity. Anyone who's negative, let's at least see the product on the field first before we, start slamming the Jets. Exactly. Have a great day, fellas.
Thank you, Ted. Appreciate that. And yeah, I'll reiterate this. So we're doing this live show right now. We'll answer some more of your calls before we dip here on the program. But pay attention to my YouTube shorts. I'm going to try to give you guys as much content as I possibly can. We have these extra battery pack chargers just in case my phone dies. So I gave you guys my walk-in to go, holy crap, we're right here. And Jets picks, beating David Bailey, all that stuff. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I'll keep having as much content as possible coming, and we'll try to give you as much unique live on-location content that we possibly can. So again, we're 35 subscribers away from 8,600. So let's keep feeding the beast, baby. That would be magnificent.
Hey guys, can I ask you a question? Do you get any sense of the Jets being interested in any of the place kickers? Since, we really need to find a reliable place kicker.
Let's book it for one of the 7th round picks. They're going to take Trey Smack, the kicker. So book it.
Dominic Zavala, no matter what.
I'm sure that was written on the sheet. So there you go. They're taking a kicker on the 7th round, I think.
All right, we're covered. I can sleep well now.
Okay, let's go to Professor Philly Doodles. Oh, let me get full screen here so I can see this. I need my glasses. And all right, Arvel Reese, Cooper Jr., book it. Oh, was that written last night?
That was yesterday. That was my reservation.
Well, as the song goes, 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
Yeah, that's right.
True.
50 for 50. You know what I'm saying?
In the audience, yeah.
Good morning, gentlemen. Johnny, great to see you with BG. This is fire. Bob, looking like you always do. Dapper Bob. Yeah, guys, I can report I kept Indy in that bar the entire night, even though he was tired. He wrote it out. He was cool. We knew the trade was going to happen. I had a feeling. I'm like, they're going to trade back in. It just feels like if you want the receiver and all the reports about Cooper was going to happen, it had to happen, last night, and it did. I was very ecstatic. I thought Lemon probably would be the choice like everybody, but one of this girl, Lauren, that always is at the bar with everybody, she was like, man, you think Sadiq? I said it could be Sadiq, and we should not be shocked, and we should be okay with it because Frank Reich is going to make do with him. And it happened. And I was like, oh, don't be shocked. Everybody was kind of, a little upheaval, but it is what it is. I mean, I think if you sit back and really look at the draft, and this is the only way you can think about it, the Jets they needed an edge. They got the best edge rusher in the draft.
They did.
They needed a weapon, and you want to get if you weren't going to get Tate, you wanted the best weapon. Like, no one goes, you know what? I want the third best receiver out of this draft this year. No team says that. So you got the best tight end in the draft. So
Correct.
you're now 2 for 2. And then you said, oh, you know what? That Cooper guy, we really like him. You know what? Let's take that gamble. 5th-year option. Fuck it. Move up.
And value. He wasn't the 30th ranked player on the board, but you got him at 30.
And one significant thing that I realized our table was saying at the bar, we got grown men players. We did not get, and I hate to say this, we did not get the tomfoolery with Sauce. We didn't get, like Sauce was moved for a reason. Quinnen was the man about his business, I believe. But Sauce, the antics, I think there was a delineation made between the two of them. Muji is a straight shooter, and AG, we already know what time it is. So I think that was the theme of this draft so far. They got straight shooters, guys. You got a college graduate in from Stanford out of Bailey who then moved to Texas Tech. And I don't care how much they paid him. And then he moved across the street from the school. So you got a bookworm. Dunbar's going to make that kid good. It is what it is. I'm ecstatic for the draft.
Well, and I don't think he's going to play all 3 downs because when you look at, that the edges that they signed in free agency, Asai and Enigbar, they gave them both significant money, whether it was for 1 year or for 3 years, and they're not going to be sitting on the bench as backups. So I would assume they're going to play 1 or 2 of the 3 downs. And, when they need the pass rush, that's when Bailey initially, as they're breaking him in.
Sure. Yeah. He better be on the field a little bit more than that, being the number 2 overall pick, but I do get what you're saying, Bob.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. I mean, because you got the 2 guys they got, can set the edge.
Yeah, Joseph Asai and Kingsley Enagbari for sure. They and plus, we're going to get some boost in the middle. Tavondre Sweat, with the Harrison Phillips is in the mix. Jawan Briggs is in the mix. So we've got the defensive line is looking very nice. And then you have Carl Dunbar, who's the maestro behind all of it. So
Philly, you agree with me? Linebacker has to be really maybe the key focus.
I wanted it to be the key focus with Styles if it was random, like we thought it didn't happen. I would say so still, but there's a lot of receivers still there. And I mean, I feel like Boston obviously is probably going to go here towards the top of the second tonight. But there's a good amount of receivers. Bell was someone they were looking at. They could go Bell if he slips to 44.
Oh, you think they're going to go another receiver?
Yeah, why not double dip? I mean, you need the talent.
Really?
It is what it is. I would say linebacker. If CJ falls and Anthony Hill's a Texas boy, I don't know if Glenn's going to be like, I want a Texas guy in here, and he goes and gets himself a Texas guy. Whatever. But I would say reservations. We don't know what might happen, but I'll say these last 2 things. That we don't know what might happen, and best health and wishes to your brother. 100%.
Thanks,
guys.
Professor.
Have a good one. Enjoy it.
Good weekend, Philly.
There he is, Professor Philly Doodles. Appreciate all the kind words for my brother. That has really meant a lot to me and my family. A super chat just coming in. Let's get this in between the phone calls. Philium graces us with his presence. Let's go.
Wow.
That's very sweet of you to say, Philium, a $6 super chat, which of course is 2 raffle tickets for our contest. Seeing you guys really did feel like we were all there. The Boy Green and the Jets Worldwide crew, a bigger part of this draft than ever before. Let's go 2026. And hopefully, I've been trying to say that as many times during the show as possible, and hopefully it's resonating. Hopefully it means something. I said it before we did anything at the draft. I hope you guys can go like, oh my God, these are the guys we interact with on the shows. They're there. Like, we're there. So like, hopefully you're excited at home. We were clearly excited there. So I certainly hope that was the response from you guys in the audience. Very meaningful, very special. And it's hard sometimes when you say something, you're going to remember something for the rest of your life. Because like I'm 32, I turned 33 in 2 days. Like, it's hard to have this out-of-body experience to go, this moment that's happening right now is something I'm going to continue to reference for the rest of my life. But it's happening right now in this moment. But I am trying to savor every single moment. I saw Barbara said she's really enjoying the shorts, so we'll try to have even more of those with me and Johnny Boy hitting the town today and then doing the draft later. So thank you, Philium, and thank you for everyone that has supported the show financially or with likes and and subscriptions. This has been very awesome. So, Philliam, that was beautifully said. Thank you so much.
Major love to Phil, man. So much love in regards to what we're trying to get accomplished, and kind of touch on a little bit of what Ted said. Yeah, I had something that happened that was pretty crazy in December, which is, if you think about it, was only a pretty few months ago.
Right. Yeah, very recent. Yes.
To be able to be there and experience that, and then for the Jets to trade back in, and then because the whole time that we've been here and we were talking, there was like, man, that one moment, that one player that really catches all of us together. And I think for me is Cooper, because we didn't know they were going to trade back in, right? And then we're there. We're all three of us just there. And then we're like, we looked all three, like after it all happened, and we looked at all three of each other, myself, Lou B, and BG, and we were like, holy shit, we did it. It's us three in the pit. We made it. And it's something that I'm going to remember for forever, man. I'm not even going to say for a very long time. It's awesome, man. And this experience, if you get a chance, an opportunity to go to the draft, check it out, do it. It's worth it. All the stuff there, dude. As soon as you get here, everybody's talking to you about ball. It's not like people are not joking that you got Jet stuff on or whatever. Now, afterwards, when some of these individuals that are drunk are saying that, but like literally, there was Steeler fans chanting JETS, 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 Jets constantly, and myself and freaking BG were like, I don't know how to take this. Because I was thinking there were going to be a bunch of, what, but now Pittsburgh is showing a lot of love, and it's a nice town, man.
It's great to have all this positivity after last night.
Yeah, for sure. Let's get to the super chat coming in here. This is from Sad7287.
Wow.
As an Indiana alum, what do I have to do to get that Cooper draft card? Amazing pick, and what a great piece of history. I will go full screen. This is my first time showing it on camera anywhere since it happened. So I have it here. Thankfully, when I was packing my bag to go to the draft, I'm like, would I need a notebook? What would I need a notebook for? But let me put it in there just in case. And it was the perfect size to preserve this draft card. There it is. I still can't believe I'm holding this right now. This is the card that Roger Goodell held. It says, and I'll show it here on screen, with the 30th pick in the 2026 NFL draft, the insert name, New York Jets select Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver, Indiana. Roger Goodell has autographed it. Wow. I have this forever. We made eye contact. Roger Goodell handed it to me. And I just, this is insane. This is one of one. There's only one of these. And I plan on, again, framing this. I took a picture of the draft with it. So that's the first time showing it on camera. Super cool. I can't believe we have that moment. And hopefully, if it works out.
Hey, guys, what was the thing that they were having each of the draftees sign after they were picked?
That I don't know. I did not see on stage.
I've never seen that before.
I have not either. But there's a bunch of, to be honest, there's a bunch of hoopla to the draft that I didn't know happened because, Rich Eisen's talking or Mel Kiper's talking. So they're not showing the draft stage, but they have like hosts. Cynthia Freeland was out there. Colleen Wolfe was out there. One of the Barber brothers were out there. And they were just like engaging the crowd. Mm-hmm. And there's a band and there's all kinds of crap that's happening in between the picks. So amazing.
Never a dull moment.
To answer the question, I don't think there's an amount of money that can be given. I think if I ever gave this card up, and I would prefer never to give it up, it would be if Omar Cooper and his people reached out and said something and we could work something out. And come on, like this card's one of one. So like, I would love, if Omar wanted this, I'd give it to him. If he didn't want it, great, because I want to keep it. But if he wanted it really badly and said, hey man, what's it going to take? I would have a fair negotiation of saying, hey, man, this is one of one. Like, hook me up, man. Omar Cooper autographed jersey, gloves, Jets tickets. Like, they would have to go above and beyond to get this card from me, but I'd be willing to do it for his family. But well, no offense to you, Sad 7287. Someone else said at the draft, oh, damn, I wish I would have had it. Like, I hope I frame this and it's behind me on Boy Green Daily for the rest of my life. And hopefully it's this cool moment. But we'll see. Again, if the prospect is not at the draft when they read the card, Goodell gives the card away, apparently. So today, if the 44th overall pick is the only pick they have, and that person is not at the draft, there's a chance he gives that card away again.
I can't figure out how about everybody. Goodell focused on you. I
don't know. I'm dashing, obviously, but I'll tell you, if no one else comes up, I'll grab it again. Sweet, I'll have another card. That'd be amazing. So.
And this is what I go back. That pick right there, the him having that card, we kept saying it. Which player is going to be that player that's going to tie us together for the rest of this trip? And I'll say it again. For me, it's that him getting that card, us being on television that way. It was awesome.
Is there just one camera there that's shooting your pen? Or is it more than one?
There's 12 of them, and you can see them. There's people like a person wearing essentially an ESPN shirt, NFL Network shirt. They have NFL media people.
It's funny because ESPN, is owned by ABC, right? And the NFL now is owned by ESPN. So I thought maybe they only need one
consolidate.
That all three of the networks can use.
Yeah, right. So maybe they all take different things. They trade tape or however it works. I'm not sure, that's above my pay grade, but amazing. So I'll also, for you guys that aren't watching Board Green Daily, I'll do a YouTube short with the card and do a whole thing later so you guys can see it. But amazing, absolutely amazing. So thank you, Sad 7287. You're probably more sad after sending in that super chat. So I understand. Let's go back to the phone lines here. Yeah, for sure. We'll get him on. Let's go. EZ's up next here on the show.
First and foremost, I hope your brother Brody is doing better.
Thank you, sir.
Football's great and we all love it, but family's more important.
Of course.
And I'm glad, and the gentleman sitting right next to you, I'm glad he's healthy now. So it's all good. And Bob, you don't look like you have one foot in the grave, so that's a good thing too.
A year older and still not a foot in the grave. Yep.
Yeah. Hopefully we're going to win a championship before we rot. That's the way it goes.
That's the spirit.
I called it on my mock draft.
You did. Yeah.
Let's give him. Come on.
I'm going to say this. Arvell Reese is going to be a great player in this league. Arvell Reese is going to be a great player in this league.
All right, go ahead, Easy. Yeah, go ahead, Easy. I'm sorry.
Three's the charm, Easy.
Right. Reese is going to be a great player in this league.
Thank you.
But he's a Swiss Army knife, and he's young.
All right, come on, Easy. Go ahead.
He's a Swiss Army knife, and he's young. If you want a pass rusher, go get your fucking pass rusher. And that's what they did. Yes. They got the best bona fide, proven pass rusher in the draft.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what they did. They got their studs up front. They traded for one. They got one back. They got Mace back, from Dallas. They got a couple of studs up front now. They've got, I fuck up my names. The guy from the Vikings and last year, and now they got their studs. Okay, now and then I said Sadiq. I said, who's got the best hands? He's a receiver. I don't care. You call him a tight end or a wide receiver. He's a receiver, and he's got the best hands, and he runs a 4.3. And he's big and he's strong and he's tall. It was a no-brainer. And then they go and double dip and they get the kid, the kid at pick 30. Oh my God!
Oh, the kid in pick 30. I mean,
and we still have Garrett Wilson, who's an all-star. We still have these other young players who I think Mitchell is going to turn it around. And we got all. There you go. There we go. But that reminds me.
Oh, take us on a tour. We're on MTV Cribs.
I had to clean out the room to get the studio started.
Oh, nice. The band is off, baby.
Yeah, we're practicing Sunday at 1:00 here, so I had to clear this room out. I still need my roommate who lives in that room there to get the rest of his shit out of here. That TV and all this stuff. He's got to get that out of here.
You want to go knock on the door and ask him to do it right now?
He's at work. I'm off today. I had to go to court.
Oh, geez. Hopefully.
Yeah, we had a big snowstorm down here, and the cops couldn't give out tickets for 2 weeks. So, as soon as they came back on duty, they give tickets to everybody, and I got nailed in it.
That bastard.
12 miles. I got a speeding ticket for 12 miles an hour over on a road. Everyone's usually does 15, 20 miles an hour over all the time.
Did you argue your case?
I pleaded down. They gave me an equipment violation, no points. It won't affect my driving job, so it's done.
All right, there you go. Nice.
$265.
So how you feeling going into rounds 2 and maybe 3?
I think we need to get a linebacker.
Yeah.
Who's the guy we got? The guy who's back again.
Demario Davis.
Mario Davis. We need a guy for Demario Davis to mentor.
Yes.
Like a true bona fide, whatever position Davis plays, we need to get that solid type of linebacker.
Yeah.
That guy,
that
one guy that we could get. I think who's it like
CJ Allen.
Well, who's the other guy?
Anthony Hill.
And there's another guy with a Spanish name.
Jacob Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, right. Any one of those, we need to get one of those three
we need a tackling
players.
We need a tackling machine.
Right.
Yes. Need a tackling machine behind the left side of the line.
And after we get that linebacker, I want to get a corner. I think we need to get a corner and a safety, and that pretty much, and then fill in with the rest of the picks, and that'll pretty much round it out.
I think we need another running back too.
Yeah, later.
We have 3 running backs.
I know, but one of them missed most of last season, and the third one is meh. He's okay.
Emilio Estevez.
Ooh, I love that guy. Emilio.
Well, who do you, Bob? Who do you like as a running back in
I don't know enough about the draft, but I'd love to see a real speed demon, some guy who can, or a real difference, change of pace guy in the backfield. A guy who can really break it, and that's all he has. He's got great speed.
Yeah, he went number 3.
Carlos Delgado.
And then his compadre went, and then the other guy from Notre Dame went later in the first round. That's like the first time 2 running backs from the same team were both picked in the first round of a draft.
Never happened before, and the first 2 running backs off the board. So both. Yeah.
Right, especially with all the new things like you don't take running backs in the first round, and you had 2 guys from the same team.
Right.
Jesus Christ, Notre Dame's going to suck this year.
The Golden Domers.
I'm kidding. The Golden Domers are going to do fine.
And don't forget a kicker. We need a kicker.
We definitely need a kicker. We have our punter. I think we have a long-term solution punter. Yeah. We still have our long-term solution at long snap. Hennessy's he's been on the team forever. The last guy before Hennessy, he was on the team forever too.
Yeah.
If you have a good long snapper, you just pay him and let him stay.
Yeah. That's true.
Quite frankly, I think I might have given the longer term deal to Nick Folk. I probably would have drafted a guy though who can kick someone with a mule leg. So if there was like a 60-yard field goal and you didn't want to put Folk in there for the 60-yarder, just bring in a young stud leg who's like maybe not the most accurate, but someone who'll give you a better chance at a game-winning longer field goal. Because Nick's great.
Did you see how much Dallas gave their kicker for 4 years?
No.
Like $7 million a year.
Well, guess what? Kickers score the most points on a team every year.
Yeah,
That's true.
And he's kicking from the other team. He's kicking from his own 40-yard line.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Was he kicking like 75-yard field goals in practice?
Yeah. If we don't get anybody this year, that BG and I would talk about the kid from Mississippi who's now going to LSU, who is like automatic from 55, 60 yards.
I'm sure that there is some young kid in either Australia or Europe that can kick a ball 80 yards straight.
Can I get your thoughts, Easy? There's a linebacker prospect I sort of want you to get your thoughts on. 1 second, a super chat question.
Wow.
I want to make sure I pronounce this properly. Johnny?
Easy, your thoughts on from Philly with a $2 super chat. Julio Cesar Chavez at linebacker from Syracuse. Easy.
Do you think he'd be a good option at 44?
I don't know enough about him to make that kind of selection. See, when I was picking Bailey and Sadiq, I did my research on him. I saw that Bailey had the most sacks last year, and his pressure percentage was the highest also. It wasn't just that when he got to you, he got you down 14 and a half times, but also he pressured you like 25% of the time on passing downs. So, I mean, that leads to interceptions because you hurry the quarterback and he has to throw into a tighter window, or he just is off a half a step because he's running away. That's why we didn't have any interceptions this year, because the quarterbacks could just sit back there and glance the field and they'd find the open guy.
And the other thing about Bailey,
course,
I don't know what the actual statistic, I know what the number was, but I don't know exactly what it was. But he was rated the highest at 98% among all defensive linemen. I think it was for accomplishing what he was on the field to do on every given play.
Yeah, freak the quarterback out, whether you pressure him, or make him throw off balance, sack him, whatever. Yeah, he was effective. He changed the way the quarterback threw the ball to a receiver. 98% of the time, that's insane. That's great. So, like I said, everyone's saying, oh, Glenn just did this because he's trying to protect his job. Every coach is trying to protect their fucking job. Every coach. And if you're going to pick a guy number 2 overall, now I know Arvell Reese is going to be great. He's a Swiss Army knife, though, but he's going to be great. Let the Giants have enough of a depth on defense where they can afford to school him up, coach him up. Jets needed people now. I don't care if Rex Ryan was the head coach or if we still had Saleh. I think they made the right choice in Bailey, because if you're saying you need a pass rusher, go get your pass rusher.
He's the best pass rusher in the draft, Easy. He's the best pass rusher in the draft. And appreciate you joining us here on the show with your passion as always. He's the best. Let's get a super chat in here from eBoogie156. Hey now.
Wow.
Muji didn't forget last year's draft. F the Bills, big time. Love it. A question: Muji's second draft shows improvement, or is it too early to tell? 3 first, baby. We do have 3 first this year, 3 first next year, as Johnny Boy pointed out earlier. It is definitely way too early to tell if he's improved. Obviously, I would love to throw rose petals at his feet and lie to you, but yes, it's much too early. But what you can say is philosophically, the moves that he made of getting Kenyon Sadiq at tight end, coming back up for your receiver, getting, again, in theory, the best pass rusher when that's clearly a need. I think all of those things are very positive signs. Let's see how he handles the rest of this draft. Does he stick at 44? I'd be surprised if he trades up despite the really talented players that are available. Does he stick and pick? Does he trade back to recoup that third-round pick that was lost previously that had nothing to do with him? That was a Joe Douglas trade. And then you have the 2 4s. And then there's nothing in the 6th round. You have 2 7s. So there's still a lot of moves to be made. I will be here through Sunday morning covering the draft. And obviously we'll do Boy Green dailies and everything else.
He nailed the 1 pick in the 1st round we had last year. And
yes, I remember it was
spectacular. He appears to have really done a superior job with the 3 picks he made last night. So let's see. But it looks like he's off to a great start.
But great question, E-Boogie. Thank you so much for sending that along.
Let me ask you this real quick because I did want to touch on this real quick. The Giants, didn't the Giants draft feel like Thibodeau and Evan Neal all over again?
In terms of what?
Of the players that they ended up picking, because they ended up getting
in terms of a linebacker and an offensive.
Yeah, they got Arvell Reese out of Ohio State, and then they got Francis Mauigoa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, positionally, to your point, it's the same. But no, I mean, we're going to have to really see on effectiveness. I hadn't seen Arvell Reese a lot to the Giants at 5, yet Peter Schrager's final mock draft, I'm pretty sure, had Arvell Reese at 5. And he says, you never know what can happen and someone can slip. I'm a little confused by the pick because I don't understand where everyone fits. Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, you've obviously traded away Dexter Lawrence, but you still have Brian Burns, who's really good and under contract for a long time. So I don't understand the vision for that, unless he's going to be an off-ball linebacker for the first few years of his career and then eventually transition to pass rusher. That's sort of confusing, but he's really talented. Obviously, we wanted him. And then 10, I think Mauigoa, because they're covered at tackle for now. Jermaine Illuminor's at right tackle, Andrew Thomas at left tackle. Mauigoa can fill the massive hole they have at guard. And then when Jermaine Illuminor eventually moves on, you can replace him at tackle. So that's probably the plan. But no, I don't really put much.
And I had to say that because shout out to our guy, Lurch, so.
Oh, is he out there in the chat somewhere?
No, but he's kind of given us a whole bunch of ideas out here where we've been. So
Johnny boy, I think you're right about the Giants. I think they had quantity and they wanted some quality.
Yeah, we'll see if they do. I was surprised they did not pull the trigger on Caleb Downs, though, when given the opportunity. He ends up going to Dallas. So we'll see if that ends up packing them later. All right, let's go back to the phone lines here. We have over 500 people watching the show, which I appreciate, and over 160 of those 500 are watching on YouTube. If you haven't already, hit that like button. It is free to do. That's how this Jet Show organically gets in front of other Jet fans. Excuse me, out in the audience. We'll take a few more calls before we wrap up the program here. Up next, let's go to a guy that we met yesterday. I met this guy yesterday. I met his wonderful wife yesterday. Los Jets is here, baby.
Let's go.
What's up, brother?
Hey, how's it going? And let me tell you, it was a pleasure meeting you, Johnny Boy and Boy Green and Bob. These guys are spectacular, and also Lou B. I met Lou B, and it was fantastic. And I wish I knew the access that Lou B had. I should have just followed them, me and my wife, right? Oh my gosh! But
yeah, that was awesome.
I'm happy that we got Bailey. Sadiq is caught my eye right there. I was like amazed that we were able to make the move, the trade to get Cooper, and so I think we had an awesome draft, and Muji is the man, and I think he's clearly shown that he's got this role down packed as a GM and for the future to come. So, and Bob, by the way, I've always heard when I watch Boy Green's show and I see you on, you very informative, a historian to say the least. You're the man. And
hey, I'm not here to really do this, but read my book. You will get a big kick out of it.
Oh, I haven't read it, but I would definitely look at it.
I'll tell you a lot about the history of the franchise and the essential elements of building a team brick by brick, which is what I'm glad to see. It seems to be happening now.
I met a couple yesterday, a father and daughter named Jim, and he's been a Jets fan since the Titans. He had the Titans had the Titans jersey. His daughter, very nice people. I can't say enough about Pittsburgh. I think Boy Green's comments earlier and Johnny Boy, they're very welcoming here, very nice. And I'm so happy this is my first draft. And in fact, this is my first time going live on TV.
Ooh.
And just the camaraderie that we had yesterday, meeting Johnny Boy and Boy Green and Jake Asman, the host, and Lou B, like everyone was really nice to me. And
you talk about Pittsburgh and the whole Midwest, my experience, having lived here more than half my life now.
Great host in
New York. It's the Midwest is so welcoming. It's so warm. Even for Jet fans, even when they kid me with my Jets jacket on, we laugh and talk about it. So
I mean, we had Pittsburgh Steelers fans chanting the Jets, right? Johnny Boy, remember that?
Yep.
Chanting
we were all like, "Can you believe that?"
That's crazy.
And Los, I have to say this. One of my favorite memories that I have to say is when you and I, and shout out to our guy Marlon as well, another Jet fan.
Yes, Marlon.
Marlon was awesome, man. So we're all chilling there, right? I think this is when you were doing the Jake Asman show real quick. And this girl comes up to myself, Los, and Marlon, and she gives us condoms.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And we're both like, what is this? But
I thought it was candy at first, right?
we all three of us thought this was candy. We were like, oh, I guess they're giving us like some, gummy worms or
Hey,
something.
Johnny, you better hold on to those because I saw on TV yesterday there's going to be a big shortage of those things because of what's going on.
Oh man, but Bob, this is the kicker. So me and Los are talking, and I'm like, can you believe this that they're giving this? And it has a app that a QR code that you get onto, and it's a consent form to have sex with the person that you're with that they can sign. And I was like, how genius is this? So yeah, it was.
And of course, Paul had no interest in it whatsoever.
That was
Thankfully, I was on air, so I missed that entire experience, unfortunately.
It was hilarious. I mean, me and Los were cracking up, and with Marlon, because we couldn't believe that this chick just comes up to us and gives us condoms.
So my question to you guys, because again, I missed this. I was live on the Jake Asman show while this was going on. What impression did you give to this woman that she's like, you know what? These couple of guys, they need this. That you apparently gave off some vibe that seemed to suggest that you guys were welcoming and you guys, quite frankly, probably needed this.
Hey, Boy Green, she had a big bag and she was walking down the aisle and she came towards us. And I thought it was, quite frankly, I think we all did. It was like candy, but she just popped it and I took it and I was like, really, we were all looking at it like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, dude. This is a true story. We all were like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, and the first thing I said to Los right after we figured what it was, I was like, I haven't used this since like 1987. Threw it on the damn the bar.
Marlon said the same thing. It's like it's been since the 80s since he used it. Right? It was hilarious. And, I remember Jake in one of the interviews had to remove them because they were like laying on the counter there. He had to remove them for the interview. And I was like, it was hilarious. But it's a very welcoming town, apparently. So,
Quite. Which, hey, Los, it was so cool to meet you and your wife, man.
Thank you.
That, to me, the cool thing, because we host a tailgate every year at MetLife, so we'll have to definitely have you over for that. But I think the coolest thing is the people, meeting people. The people in the pit, I met like Hulk Hands and the International Fan of the Year. And, oh, my God, these are people I had never met before.
Juicy
Jet I hadn't really known. So I was meeting a lot of people I've never met before. And that made the experience. Meeting the people was really cool.
Boba Jet.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And by the way, I just want to say, hey, I'm glad I didn't know about your health issue, Johnny Boy. So I'm glad that you recovered from that. And Boy Green, my prayers and sentiments go to you and your family with your brother. I'll make sure that in my prayers that I make sure that your brother is noted there, and God will do what God does best. So thank you very much. And listen, it was great meeting you too, and hopefully we'll meet again. And Bob, it was great seeing you on, for the first time meeting you. So thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for your
There you
comment.
go. Los Jets, baby. He's on the TV. He was on with us here on Boy Green Daily, baby. BGD. All righty.
So real quick story, Los, thank you with everything I got going on. It's a 9-month recovery. And I think BG saw now firsthand, I'm having to take he saw my medicine that I'm taking, and then he saw the ibuprofen and stuff like that. Because with everything I got, and I told him, I was like, dude, I feel like I got beat up right now because of me still trying to recover and everything. But man, this experience, I can't stop talking about it because it's been that amazing. You know, like real quick, funny story. I have to say this, okay? This is a story that's probably going to stay in our memories forever with myself and BG. So we are hungry, okay? And we're there, and myself and BG are both like, oh, dude, let's get some burgers and everything. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, I'm down. Then he's like, man, these wings look good. You want to get some wings? And I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? Let's get some wings.
Yeah, well, let me just make sure the story is straight here, okay? So we go to the bar, we're hungry. We're like, we don't know what the food options are at the draft or the pit. Like maybe you just don't get food. I don't know. So
I would assume not. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. So we sat at the bar and we're like, oh, we should probably eat. So they give us the little menus. I'm looking through it and I'm weighing. I'm like, again, if I'm not going to eat for the next 9 hours, I guess I should probably pack it in right now. Or if I'm stacking, so I'm like, maybe I'll get a burger and fries. And then Johnny's going to get a burger. And I ask him, I'm like, hey, would you want to get wings? And in my head, I thought he was going to say no. So I wasn't going to get the wings. And they said, yeah, fuck it. Why not? I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, okay. I said, I wouldn't get these if it was just for me. But if we're going to both commit, then okay, sure, I'll buy the wings. I buy the wings. They come over. He has one wing, and then I'm chowing down. I have 1, 2, 3 wings. I look over at him, and he's like, oh. I'm like, what? He's like, I'm full. I'm like, you're full of shit. You better eat some more wings, buddy. I just bought this whole thing of friggin' wings. And he never ate another wing. So I just like turned the cap backward here, and I just said, all right, let me just start chowing down some more wings. And then I got down to 2. I had 7. He had 1, and then I ended up feeding 2 to our friend Marlon, who we met yesterday. So yeah, Johnny, thanks for not committing. Thanks for being a jerk. And then as soon as we go to the draft, now he's eating everything in the universe. I'm like, what a freaking freak. So yeah, unbelievable.
We definitely didn't eat anything at the draft because there was nothing
Did
there.
Did you buy the caps before you went, or did you get them there?
So what's going to happen is after the show is over, he's going to take me to a fancy diner. He's going to pay for all the food. He's going to make sure he eats it all for all of us. That's what's going to happen next. That's for
Did you hear my question about the caps? Did you buy the caps before you went to Pittsburgh, or did you get them there?
Yeah. So is this the other one?
This
is your new one.
Draft caps,
so shout out to Lou B. Lou B got this as well, which is when
the
you're inside the actual, I guess the
pit. You get like a gift package, which includes a draft hat. So I already had this draft hat. My parents bought it for me for my birthday, which is in 2 days. So I get the draft hat every year, but I didn't know this. We went into the pit. You had like a little gift bag. There's a draft shirt. The pick is in or something. Wow. I didn't really get a chance to really look through it because we got to all the draft stuff. But yeah, they had a nice little canvas jet thing and some a bag of chips and some random other assortment of gifts and whatnot. So yeah, it was very nice. So he gave him the draft hat and the snapback.
But you were right. There really wasn't any food options when you were in the pit.
Limited, very limited of what you could do. And we were in the same areas like media and family of players and stuff. So yeah, it was very limited. But again, I'm going to make sure Johnny Boy makes it up to me with breakfast coming up here very shortly.
And the parking, $250 to park
per day.
Per day. It was wow.
Thankfully, I was able to. So I'm here with Johnny Boy at this hotel.
Hey, don't complain. You got a bag of chips.
Yes, I got a bag of chips. Thankfully, that had me covered. But I'm staying here with Johnny Boy at this hotel from last night and tonight, and I'm going to drop off at the airport tomorrow. And I have an Airbnb on both sides of this visit, Wednesday and Saturday night into Sunday. And that lovely man at that Airbnb is letting us park at his house, or else I would have had to pay $750 apparently.
How close is he to?
About a 10 to 15 minute walk from the draft.
Oh, that's great.
And let's talk about the final walk last night. So he's our navigator, trying to navigate us, right?
GPS on foot. Yeah.
Yep. And we're lost at one point, and then we're down this alley, and then out of nowhere
we see Lou B.
out of nowhere, and we already at this point had said bye to each other.
Yeah, we said goodbye, like see you tomorrow, and then we walked around the town, and then I turned down a corner. I'm like, wait, is that Lou B? Where the hell did we go? So yeah, that was a bit of a disaster, no doubt about it.
And it took Lou B to get us back the right way, and it was
it was very nice.
So many stories, man.
There are a lot of stories that we'll continue to share over time. Let's get in and squeeze in one or two more calls here, and then we'll put a bow on this puppy. Again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I'll also finish it. We can go around the room with day 2 predictions of what we think is going to happen. But let's go to Chef Kevin Gilbert, who's here on the show.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Sorry, I was just dealing
Thanks
with
for
some
the
business.
pictures and videos of the living room with you and Kev Jr. That was awesome.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, man. You know, it was one of those things where we normally do the draft party at the stadium, but due to the World Cup and everything like that, and they changed it to somewhere in the city. I'm like, yo, I can't do that because I took my kid to work yesterday. It was take your kids to work day.
Cool.
So he was here. He also had baseball and track practice yesterday.
Yeah.
Plus, you know, my mom's going through some stuff, so you know it was important to kind of be there. That's where I was with that first video. Was at my parents' house watching our first pick. You know, there was a couple of curse words that came out when we got that pick. But then when I started seeing that board go, man, I'm like, yo, what is going on here? Like, I really didn't think Love would go that or like right then and there, which, you know, Lou B, man, I felt bad for him knowing like, hey, it was literally one pick away. But then like when I saw Ty go, shout out to Ty Simpson, you know, what is it, Tank for Ty?
Yeah.
You know, I felt relieved, man. And looking at YouTube and social medias, yo, all these LA Ram fans are hot right now. They're mad as hell. Like, I don't know why they did it like that. They're thinking long term, but you know, if you're trying to win the Super Bowl coming up, like you got to get somebody else, man. You got to get somebody on. In my opinion, I thought the Rams needed somebody on defense. The offense looked pretty good, but they got to stop the run, man. And that's where my fear is with Bailey. Yeah, he's the best pass rusher, but what about run stuffer? What about stopping the run? That was something last year with McDonald where he was just getting abused, man. So if Bailey's going to be that every down lineman, which I don't know, I trust their plan. The dude's a beast for sure. They got the plan. They felt good with it. I'm cool. Yo, I'm cool with it. But we got to see value there. And then with Sadiq, I mean, Johnny boy, we've been talking about Sadiq forever. Lemon, I'm like, ooh, we got Lemon or Sadiq, best of both worlds. I'm like, we can't lose at this. And when I thought they was going Lemon, but when they got Sadiq, I was hyped. I was happy. I'm like, yo, we need that, man. BG, you know I'm critical of Mason Taylor and his blocking abilities and all that. Like,
yeah, that's
yo,
true.
we need a freak, man. I love Ruckert. I know Ruckert. Yo, he's a good dude. But yo, we need somebody else. Yo, we need an X factor, man. Somebody that could jump up and get the ball, man. Like, yo, that's it. And then to trade back in and get Cooper, who a lot of us was thinking like, oh, he might fall to 16 or he might be available. Yo, it was a hell of a night, man. We actually did really well in my opinion with the picks that we got. The only thing right now is, can we put it on paper? Can we really get the coaching and everything together to make this thing work? Because if we can do that, then we'll be special, man. We still got more picks coming up at 44. Yo, I wouldn't be mad if we went center, if we went guard. I wouldn't be mad at that, man. We got weapons. You, Johnny boy, you know I'm a Beck dude, man. We get him later on. Yo, come on, man. We need another quarterback, man. It can't just be Geno. It got to be somebody else. And with Beck, with his body, 6'5", 240-ish, like, yo, he's somebody that we can rely on. And you know, Johnny boy, you're an Arian Smith truther. So what better thing to do than put him with Beck? That's my thing, man. Like,
yeah,
pair him with Beck, get him back.
That's where all the drops came from. Was those passes that Beck would throw not on stride but way behind him, and then Arian Smith had to turn his body completely around. Look, I mean, Chef, you know, I said it with Carson Beck. I said, look, Carson Beck, he could be a good backup quarterback, and he showed out at that combine. I really have to say the footwork and the mechanics that he had, I was like, he looked good, you know. And I'm gonna give where credit is due. You know, would I be upset if Carson Beck is there later? No, because at that point, you know, it is what it is. I personally would probably want you know, I've been on with Drew Alar and a Luke Altmaier. Let's go, Luke. To get at that position. But dude, I was so happy. I mean, you Chef, you know, bro, that I've been on Sadiq. I just did not think that they were going to pull the trigger on this and pick him, you know, and we did, man. The draft, the way it was falling, I was like, wow, I could not believe. I couldn't believe Tennessee picked up Tate.
Yeah, that surprised me.
Everybody had a defensive player for sure going there.
Salah, right?
It was like six offensive players went in the top 10 in a in a heavy defensive draft. So that was crazy.
They valued more of the offense, and that's what I kept saying. I was like, why would you not want, if this is such a heavy, you know, defensive class, why would you not want the best at those positions on offense to come to you, you know? And then you could, you know, hopefully you get the defensive players that are there that are still good and they could develop. But I agree with you with the Bailey. You know, I never understood why people were really mad about the whole Bailey and Reese. And look, you know, I mean, he's a plug and play, but like I told you before, what worried me about Bailey, right? When I showed you the pictures of the small legs of his, and then you were like, no, but look at his, like, look at the thighs, look at that and everything. And then I was like, you know what? You're right. So my hope is that Dunbar gets him right. And AG made sure to say it last night in the presser, to be like, there's some things that he needs to fix, just like every prospect that we're having be a New York Jet as well. So
and any guy coming out of college, really, because you're playing against pros now, not against boys.
Bob, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, Chef.
So with running back, man, like for me, I feel like we have a good room. I was never on board with getting Love at 2. Just knowing other needs that we do have. For me, Braylon Allen coming back from injury, there's no way.
Hopefully he's well healed and he's ready to roll. Yeah.
But he's not going to come back at 100%. So it's almost like, how much do you trust him? Because for us to have 4 running backs on our roster, which we didn't do last season, I don't think they're gonna do that. So I don't.
And he's a one-dimensional runner. He's just a brute force guy running right up the middle.
Yeah. So for me, focus on that offensive line, build some depth. Linebacker, I wouldn't be mad if they went that direction, but for me, it's like, protect Geno, man. He's a veteran quarterback.
Yeah.
Figure out the weapons, figure out the schemes, get everybody involved. And then I think
there's still offensive linemen out there, so maybe they can do something there. Hey, Chef, good luck with the Asmaniac competition.
Do I have your vote, Bob? I'm going on a Tuesday afternoon against the big
You're going
fella.
against Gorman, I think. Yeah.
Nah, I'm going against the big fella. He's a good dude. He's a Jersey guy. I met him. He's actually coming here today at 3:00. We're gonna, I'm facing off against him.
Good luck with it.
I appreciate you, Bob. Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
And just so you know, man, I've heard you say before about the tailgate and kosher food. I got you covered, man. My mom.
Okay, we'll talk.
I'm adopted. My mom, she's Jewish, so I grew up in a Jewish household celebrating Passover and Hanukkah. So I know how it goes, man. I got you at the tailgate.
Well, we'll talk when we get the timing down.
Let's go. I appreciate your time, guys.
Thanks, Chef. Have a great weekend.
You too. Go Jets. Or I'll still talk.
Looks like we're the only ones here.
I'm
so,
cool.
What did you think of the press conference last night?
thoughtful, man. There at least there wasn't anything where I could really be like, damn, AG. Like they had the plan and they stuck. Yo, they felt
It
they
gave
looked
me a lot of
confident.
confidence to have them explain the way they did, why they made the picks. Because going into it, except for when they got Cooper, I was kind of deflated as to what they had done.
Mm-hmm. Getting that fifth year option, that just shows how much trust that they have in Cooper and that pick and utilizing him there, which made me feel really good. Because if we left out the first round without having a wide receiver, at least like if something fell at 33, I would have been good.
Oh, they're back. Oh,
We're
you
back.
guys, we got the show covered. You guys.
Oh, okay, great. All right, guys.
Go take a nap. Go take a nap.
We got it.
He's a solid. Cooper's a solid number 2, which is what they needed.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah,
and if he would have got there at 33 or Boston, I would have been cool. But they didn't want to risk it, and I felt like they really felt like that extra year.
No, they knew. Apparently, they knew about Buffalo's interest, so they were going.
By the way, let me highlight. That's a perfect time to highlight this super chat from Jiu-Jitsu Recovery. Sorry for the delay in getting to this, but it actually goes perfectly with the conversation.
Wow.
$2 super chat, very vivid. Taking Cooper from Buffalo was orgasmic, which I didn't know was a word till right now. So thank you for that. But no, that goes to show you. It shows you the danger of what Buffalo did and the great thing of what the Jets did. Buffalo was sitting at 26. Unless the Jets did something else, they could have taken Omar at 26 and we would have never got him. They trade back to, I believe it was 31. We're in the draft, so crazy this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, oh, Omar's going to fall right into our laps. And Muji goes, not so fast, mother. And jumps in front of him at 30, takes Omar. Bills get frustrated, and they just trade out of the first round. So 100%. The fact that we got Omar is like freaking amazing. The fact that we cock blocked Buffalo for Omar makes me feel even better. And the fact that Johnny Boy got to experience the Omar thing inside the pit just makes it all come together. Again, the gods were looking down upon us for that one too.
Yeah.
BG, keep the card. Keep the card, man.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's going to be very, you know what, if you can make a deal, for Cooper, it'll be very valuable, but I doubt it. Maybe to me, that'd be a keeper for him to want to have that.
It's a keeper for me. I don't want to.
No, it is, but it's like a guy who hits his first home run or whatever and wants to get the ball back and that sort of stuff.
You need to be touching that thing with gloves, BG.
100%. I have it. Thankfully, like I said, I am very lucky. I didn't know how to transport it because at first, like when I have the card, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. People are like, can I take a picture? I'm like, sure, you can take a picture of it, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, how am I going to get this card? Because if this gets bent, I'm going to be so pissed. Okay. So I'm like, what do I do? And like I said, right before we left the hotel room, I'm picking it's a clear bag policy for anyone that goes to NFL games or anything, you know what that is. So I'm like picking the things that I'm putting in the clear bag. And I grab my notebook and I'm like, in my head, why the hell would I need this? But all right, I'll throw it in there. And this perfectly fits the size of the card. So it's perfectly protected inside this little notebook. There's Omar Cooper in there. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, thank God. When I was like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Especially
always come prepared, BG.
100%.
Have a great weekend.
There you go. So that's awesome. But so phenomenal. So we're going to frame that and hopefully keep that forever. That would be amazing. But Chef, thank you for the super chats. Thanks for the messages and everything, brother. You're the best.
Prayers up to your
Y'all
mom,
killed
man.
it, man.
100%.
Y'all rocked it, man. Let's keep going, man. Let's get this energy. Let's get more picks. Gain the momentum, man. Yo, we got this. Let's go, Jets.
There he is. Chef joining us here on the program. And yes, I agree with Philliam here. He said we got super lucky with weather. I had sort of been peeking ahead at it. Thankfully, in the pit, we're covered, so it wouldn't have rained hellfire upon us. But still, all the walking around in the town today, seeing the town, the last time I checked the weather, unless it's dramatically changed, the weather looks really good. The weather looked a little questionable on Saturday, but if it rains a little, who cares? Like, it's the draft. But I do prefer the amazing weather, so thank you, Philliam, for that. All right, let's get one last call in, and then we'll wrap up the show. Super chat. All right, let's get to EZ. Okay.
Wow.
Easy then we'll get a final call in here. He said, I'd rather take a pass rusher and coach him up for run stuffing than take a run stuffer and try to make a pass rusher out of him. Go Bailey. That's a phenomenal point, to be honest with you.
Was that easy?
It was easy. Of course, it's a phenomenal point. Easy said it. But that is true. We're in a league where rushing the passer is a premium. We have a guy who led college football in sacks last year. And from what everyone says, oh boy, he's probably at least getting 8 or 9 sacks in as a rookie. Why are we mad at that? That doesn't make any sense. And to your point, it sounds what AG said last night during the presser. He thinks they can correct whatever the run issues are. Now, we'll hear from Drew Beatty, my draft guy, one more time on Monday, and he's going to explain why he does not believe that's the case, I'm sure. But easy, phenomenal point here. I truly believe this.
Yeah, I've never heard of a run stuffer who becomes a potent pass rusher.
Yeah, I've never heard of that just magically happening. Oh, that's magically delicious. I've never heard that before. So easy, great point, and more raffle tickets to the contest. Great super chat. Absolutely great super chat there. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Macho to wrap us up.
Macho.
How's it going, guys?
Good morning.
That must have been so fun yesterday, man. I couldn't imagine being there live. And then you guys got the Cooper card as well on top of that. Amazing. I just wanted to say that I would give this draft a B for the first round. I'm really happy with the people that we picked. I think for me, though, I still have Bain over Bailey. So personally, that's the only reason keeping it from the A. But I love the thought process behind all the picks.
Real quick point. I wonder if Bain was on the board at 15 or 16, rather. Did the Jets go Bain and just say, AG's like, F it, Bain and Bailey? So we were sort of flirting with that in the pit, like it's a possibility. Then he just went, and Luby said, would they take Bain? I said, with Todd Bowles, he could convince them to take Bain. I didn't have that as one of their needs, but I could see it, and they did. So, yeah, we thought about that.
Macho, where I was at when I called into your show last night,
yes,
the Bain family, because where I was at with Boba is the family section, right? So
nice. Okay.
And Bain's family was literally like right next to us. And we're talking to them. And I said, me and Boba, and I'm like, I want Bain so bad. I was like, man, he would kill it over here. You know, when he came out, he said, I'm a monster. You know, the Gotham Knight was deemed right then and there. And yeah, so Macho, man, I was there. But you saw, I called into your, I know you couldn't see anything.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. We got the ambiance. That was perfect.
But your the host that was on, he's a Steelers fan, right?
Correct.
So that was like perfect for him.
Exactly.
So I know dude was happy as anything.
100%. He was happy until the picks came in. He wasn't so happy with the picks as far as the Steelers. But for the Jets, though, I love the Sadiq trade. I think he was one of the best weapons in the whole draft. Obviously, if you're talking about just receivers, I think even if you compare him with just receivers and you don't put him with the tight ends, he could possibly be in that top 3 tier right there. I don't know which one of those top 3
why'd you give him only a B? Why'd you give him only a B?
Because of the first pick, the Bailey over Bain trade. Pick.
Okay.
I understand the thought process behind it, so I'm not mad at the pick. But for me personally, I feel like Bain will be the better professional. I understand Bailey was better in college. I think just like what Johnny Boy was saying, like Bain has that thing about him. Like he only cares about football. His high motor. He's nonstop on every play. But that's the only reason why I gave it a B. But again, the thought process was amazing. I think the Sadiq pick helps our pass game, but then the Omar Cooper Jr. pick helps our pass and running game because he's a great run blocker.
Yeah.
So I think our offense is really set. My question for you guys is, we only got 1 pick today. We still have a couple of holes currently, right? So my question is, if we wanted to get into that 3rd round, we got rid of the 5th round pick, I believe, for the Omar Cooper trade. How many more picks can we kind of play with in order to get to that 3rd round?
So I think the play to do it is, as long as you don't sacrifice 2027 capital, which seems un-Muji-like. If you trade back from 44, maybe it's to 60. I don't have the draft value chart in front of me, but let's say it's 60 or 59 or something. There may be a team willing to give up. So they give you that second. So you just move down to second and pick up that third. I think that's at play. And there's a lot of really talented, people that are still on the board. I wouldn't hate them if Jacob Rodriguez had 44 and they're like, hey, Rodriguez or Colton Hood or Jermon McCoy or whatever. There's a lot of talented players I like. I did a video on it. Another shameless plug. If you guys are in the video section, I said my top 10 players, but I probably gave you 20 of players that really intrigue me.
Yeah, let's just not make that second round pick the quarterback.
Yeah, would be my high recommendation because Ritsamy mentioned today that maybe they'd go Carson Beck. And again, Carson Beck is not who I would pick, but if you were going to go Carson Beck, at least trade back from 44 because he's the 100th ranked consensus big board. You could trade back and still get that third. And if you use one of them on Beck and then you want one of them on something else I want, okay, I'd be more open to it. So we'll see.
I think the Bears might be a good team to watch because I believe they have 2 picks in the second round, the later
57
second round.
and 60, I believe.
Right, exactly. So I think that'd be the perfect team to kind of, and I would see them wanting to move up as well. I forgot who they got at 25, but they did end up getting
Dylan Thieneman. Great player.
Right. An amazing player dropping to
Yeah,
25.
they're thrilled this morning here in Chicago.
They should be. That's an absolute steal. People thought he might go top 15. So Chicago fans should be a lot of fun. Well, Macho, give us a quick plug for your draft coverage that could be coming up here.
Macho Talk Sports. We were streaming for almost 4 hours yesterday. Had a hell of a time. And we can't wait to watch you guys again tonight. Have fun,
We'll
man.
be there. Macho, you're the best, baby. Thanks for calling in. And Bob, any final comments here before we put a bow on this puppy officially?
Yeah, I can't believe we went 3 hours.
I did. I told Johnny Boy before the show started, I'm like, hey, man, we should probably, our voices are gone. We've got the draft later. We've got to organize some things. So we should probably try to keep it to around an hour. And we had 3 times that. So, but there's a lot to talk about. Jet fans are excited. They should be. So
tea and lemon for you and honey for the rest of the day.
Okay, we'll do. Hopefully that brings me back.
You won't have to yell JETS Jets that often tonight. So
that is true. Unless Moody has other plans, which I'll be there for no matter what. So
Johnny Boy, you take care of him and basically every time he tries to open his mouth, just go shh.
Yeah.
Bob, I did want to say, I wanted to show you this. So, I have an 11-year-old daughter, and she wants a Jets book. So I bought her the Beyond Broadway Joe, right? But the hard copy one of itself.
So you got the hard copy,
and she's been reading it since I've got it.
Listen, keep her out of the name of the chapter if she's 11 years old.
She's
a trooper. So what? Do you want to autograph my one Bob letter? Is that what you're asking?
That'd be kind of cool.
All you got to do, Paul knows how to contact me. You can just send it to me in an envelope, and I can sign it and turn it around and send it right back to you.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And just tell me when you send it to me what you want it to say, so I can inscribe it properly. It would be my pleasure.
Best looking individual I've ever seen, other than Joe Namath, Johnny Boy. Here you go, buddy. I'm kidding.
It's like the other day when I had my birthday, and my wife said, "How do you feel?" And I said, "I feel like Joe Namath. I can't wait till tomorrow because I get better looking every day."
See, that's the way to do it. I want to give a absolutely huge shout out. We have 500 people in the room. The favor you could do to me on the way out is by liking the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel and tell a friend. Spread the word. We're doing a lot of live coverage here at the draft. We've picked up a surge of subscribers while we're here at the draft. I'd love to pick up a surge more and get myself in front of other Jet fans out there in the audience. So please make sure you share the love. And I see that a lot of people shared love today. Chef Kevin Gilbert with the $20 super chat. Easy with the $2 super chat. NC Green, $2. Spin Max Dave, $5. Emmanuel Holcomb, $5. Jared B gifted a membership. Spin Max Dave joined the Boy Green Coffee Club. Lucas celebrated 15 months today. Devin celebrated 10 months today. NC Green, $2 super chat. Hennessy Heisman, $5 super chat. Issa Spade, $2 super chat. Philly Noodles gifted a membership. Philly or FL Phil 98, $6 super chat. Sad 7287, who got more sad after his request for my Indiana Omar Cooper card, $5 super chat. Philly Noodles, $2 super chat. E Boogie, $5 super chat. Jiu-Jitsu Recovery, $2 super chat, and an easy $5 super chat.
And I must tell you that Bobby Jr. was very impressed with who we picked with 16 and with 30 last night.
Oh, Bobby Jr., I'm sure would be happy to hear this. But as I was in a rush doing something. So like a pick had happened. I was going to get a water. I was going to meet Johnny Boy. It was one of the two. And someone grabs me. And I'm walking. I'm not paying any attention. Someone grabs me and I stop as they grab me. I'm like, hey. I'm like, what's up? And it's a Colts fan, but I didn't notice it at first. And they were in their Colts section. He went, hey, hey, hey. And I leaned in. He's like, thanks for sauce. And I went, hey, 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 thanks for the picks. Thanks. And then I just kept walking. But that was I hadn't told anyone that story until just now.
There's true love in football. Yeah.
Apparently so, where we can both get what we want.
Hey, have a great time tonight and tomorrow, and have a safe trip back, both of you guys.
100%. I'll be here through Sunday morning. I'll drop off Johnny Boy at the airport tomorrow. It's going to be a great day. Folks, thank you. We're going to rest our voices, go get some food. And again, stay tuned to the YouTube channel tonight for the YouTube shorts. I saw Barbara said she really enjoyed it, and others did too. I'll try to load it up, and I'm sure I've got more footage, me and Johnny Boy, pictures, videos, and everything. We'll also try to upload here during the day, which is excellent. So I want to thank everybody so much for joining us. It was amazing, amazing. So yes, Johnny Boy, any final thoughts?
And last thing, Bob, DG, I have to say this real quick with Lou B. Sure. Even though our voices were gone, we saw Rich Eisen, we saw Pat McAfee.
Yes, that's true.
We went to each and every, and this is after the draft is
right.
done.
They're inside their little draft booths
after the telecast. Yeah.
Yes.
And we're there, and we mustered the Jets chant, and we just say it, Jets, 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 Jets. And then you see other Jet fans out of nowhere just coming out of the woodworks. We get a little crowd, and it's Lou B leading the chant, Boba Jet leading the chant, BG, myself, right? We're like, oh, Jets, 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 Jets. Rich Eisen looks back, he smirks at us, right? Over there with Pat, he had AJ Hawk. I mean, the whole crew was over there. I think they had Cornell Tate. They one of the guys looked back, and I believe it was Pat. He looks and he smirks and he goes like that. So we represented the faithful last night, man. Jet Nation, baby. JETS, 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 Jets.
One more super chat coming in here at the buzzer.
Wow.
Safe travels today, Mama BG and Brody Strong. Yes, my family's traveling. I will not be. Again, I'm going to be here through Sunday morning. Guys, stay tuned to the channel. I can't believe we went over 3 hours. I told Johnny Boy maybe it would be an hour. So that goes to show you how passionate you guys are, which you guys should be, which is awesome. We'll have another Boy Green Daily tomorrow morning. We'll be up there with YouTube Shorts. I hope you guys could check it out. So, Indy, thank you so much for sending that along. And, folks, we'll see you again soon. Take care.